Hello and welcome to Build Up to a Good Game. We're an hour and 5 minutes away from kick-off at the City Ground as it's Nottingham Forest against West Ham United. Big team news for West Ham, big formation change, big calls from Julian Lopetegui, some of them forced, but not all of them has been forced. Gonzo, how is oneself?
I'm very well, thank you. Yeah, looking forward to it now. Even more excited now I've seen the team. How about yourself?
I'm intrigued. It's got me. I think I was sort of not really looking forward to today's game because I felt like it was almost predictable to some extent. But given the formation change and the starting 11, it's added an element of curiosity, if you like. So I'm now intrigued as to what the plan is. Kind of like it, kind of suspicious, but we'll get into that in just a second. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching at home, thank you. Please do drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. It'll help people find this video. So they're going to YouTube, put in Nottingham Forest West Ham. This will be the #1 recommended video if you were all to click that thumbs up. So please do. Thank you very much. And get your thoughts into the live chat as well. We'll be taking your comments in just a second. But first, let's read out the West Ham United team. In goal for the Hammers this afternoon is Lucas Fabianski. We're playing a back 5 or a back 3, depending on how you want to look at it. Adam Wan-Bissaka at right wing back with Mavropanos, Todibo and Kilman at centre back, and then Emerson at left wing back. We've got Edson Alvarez partnering Rodriguez in midfield with Lucas Paqueta and Somerville, supposedly number 10s, and then Jared Bowen as the striker. But we can discuss how that sets up. I'd imagine that's how we're going to set up with this formation. What's your thoughts, Gonzo?
I'm pleased. I've got to say, I'm pleased for a number of reasons, actually. Firstly, give the opposition something to think about. Have the opposition manager scrambling around with something he didn't expect just before you're gonna go into the game. Well, obviously, it's not just it's not an hour before the game. Obviously, they get a little bit earlier, but still give them something to think about. Give him Nuno Espirito Santo a reason to say, right, that thing we've been working on in training, lads, right, it's going to be slightly different. You're now marking him. They're not playing as they thought. I like it from that aspect. I also like the fact, so I don't care whether you play 4 at the back, 3 at the back, 5 at the back, whatever it is. But I think if you're going to do it, let's put the round pegs in the round holes. And if what he really wants to do is play 3 at the back, then play your 3 centre-backs. Go and do that rather than this overly complicated tactic, which I'm sure if you've been at the club a couple of years and you've established your brand of football and you've established your tactics and what you want everybody to do, then you can maybe ask one of your central defensive midfielders to become an auxiliary centre-back and go with, like, you drop in there and make, so when we've got possession, we're a 4. When we're out of possession, we're a 3. No. Do you know, for now, particularly when you're in a bit of a pickle that West Ham are in at the moment, if you're going to play 3 centre-backs, pick 3 centre-backs. I like that as well. And I just think this will really give him his biggest opportunity to see whether his formation is going to work. Is it necessarily going to have the transition and the fluidity of switching between a midfielder becomes a defender, so on and so forth? No, maybe not. But I also like if you're going to chuck those full-backs up there, all right, fair enough. Make them wing-backs, chuck the extra defender in there, and you're going to play your 2 holding midfielders. So is it a back 3 or a back 5? It's funny enough, it's both, I think. So I think it's a back 3. I just don't think and it could be a back 5. I'm just not sure that the wing backs are part of that back 5. I think if it is a back 5, then you're looking at including Rodriguez and Alvarez in that as well. I quite like it, Gio.
What do you think we're doing further up the pitch then? Obviously, we've got 3 sort of attacking players there with Bowen, Somerville and Paqueta. What do you reckon he's doing?
I hope he's got no striker. I hope we're playing nobody up front. And I think, I don't think it would be the worst thing. I'm not sure he's doing that, but I think if I was going to go with this, I think, no, okay, go on, Murillo, what's his name, Milenkovic, is that his name?
Yeah.
Go on, mark no one. Mark nobody. You're going to have to step out of this shape, and then we're going to basically fill in behind it if you do. So, yeah, give them nobody to mark. Overload a different area and leave them with nothing to do.
In a way, that's what I'm a bit worried about with our defenders, in terms of one of Mavropanos.
3 men with nobody to mark, yeah.
Well, Chris Wood will be there. It's just who else? Because Alanga and Hudson-Odoi are wide. So are the centre-backs then going to cover the wing-backs and push out to the touchline and take the wingers? I can't see that happening, and I don't think I want it to happen either, because that would leave huge gaps between the centre-backs.
I think Mavropanos will.
Yeah, I think that's what we will do. I'd imagine that is what they're possibly going to do, because I think Wan-Bissaka and Emerson will be encouraged to get very high in today's game. So I think there's going to be an element of when Forest break. It'd be interesting to see how Forest deal with us actually from their defensive standpoint. But let's just do the West Ham bench then and add a little bit of context to the starting 11 for West Ham this afternoon. The bench for West Ham is as follows. No Alphonse Areola. He has picked up a back injury in training, so he doesn't make it. So Wes Fodringham is on the bench, Gonzo. Aaron Creswell's on there, as well as Vladimir Soufal, and Caelan Casey is on the bench. Carlos Soler's on there with Andy Irving, as well as Luis Guilherme, Danny Ings, and Mikhail Antonio. No Thomas Souček. He is sick. He's got a virus. So Thomas Souček is absent today altogether. So we're missing a few players. That is the bench for West Ham this afternoon. In terms of the starting 11 for Nottingham Forest, Sells is in goal. They've got Anya at right back as always, with Alex Moreno at left back. Murillo continues to partner Milenkovic at centre back. Yates will partner Dominguez in midfield. Morgan Gibbs-White returns to the starting 11 in number 10 role, with Callum Hudson-Odoi on the left, Alanga on the right, and Chris Wood up front. That's our opponents. I think what's going to be interesting is how I think Somerville and Paqueta might be quite narrow today. I think they'll be quite almost playing as number 10s a little bit, and almost be like a box midfield with Rodriguez and Alvarez. And if that is the case, and I think Bowen will be the striker, and if that's the case, and with this coming from Wan-Bissaka and Emerson, how do Nottingham Forest deal with that defensively? Do they drag Hudson-Odoi and Alanga back to mark them? And then we're going to see our centre-backs picking up a lot of the ball today. And you might see Mavropanos or Todibo or Kilman moving into midfield with the ball. I wouldn't be surprised that quite a lot of the time you see them coming 5, 6, 7, 8 yards, travelling into midfield with the ball to try and drag Morgan Gibbs-White or one of the wingers out of position. And then that's how you then create the space. Or rather, Nottingham Forest winger is going to pass them on to Moreno and Anya. And so you two pick them up, and we're going to stay up high. And we're going to really cause problems for this West Ham defence, because we're now stood in what is like no man's land for West Ham. There's nobody in this area. So it's going to be very... I think he's made this game... I think originally, if we continued our 4-3-3, it is tactical, but because it's quite a similar lineup, so I think it's quite easy to work out who's marking who. But with what Lopetegui's just done this afternoon, I think it's become a real battle of tactics and strategy here, actually. I think he's really turned this game into a different sort of angle altogether. I'm intrigued. I'm genuinely really intrigued.
Yeah, I am. I mean, the Gibbs-White one is an interesting one as well, because as I heard, that they didn't particularly get on, Gibbs-White and Lopetegui. So that's going to be interesting to see if that's. I don't know where I heard it. I don't know who I heard it from. I definitely didn't make it up. I definitely think I heard it.
He wasn't at Wolves when Lopetegui was there. No.
Where was he? Of course he wasn't.
Forest.
No.
Someone definitely fed you fake news there.
Oh, okay, fair enough. There you go.
I mean, he might have been. I don't know. I haven't checked it. You just said it. But
I'm glad I didn't claim to make it up. Yeah, I thought I'd heard it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe it was somebody else. We can make one up if you want. Who you didn't get on with. But I do think it's going to be really interesting to see how. I wasn't expecting him back today. I really was. I wasn't expecting that at all. I thought he was out injured for a little bit longer than that. So he's a really good player and somebody that would certainly frighten me as a West Ham fan, and somebody I would have wished we'd have bought a long time ago. Certainly before he left Wolves. It's going to be an interesting... It's actually made me more positive about the result today, seeing this team. I think we've been too much of a mishmash. Now, all I'm hoping is that if he's going to play three centre-backs, play three centre-backs. If he is going to start asking those like silly things, like those central defenders to become something else, then I think he's inviting trouble on himself. I really do think he needs to go back to basics. And I'll bring you back to what I spoke about before, which was he alluded to the fact that Nuno Espirito Santo had clear ideas, which is the reason that his team were flying so high in the league. So I can only hope that he's taken heed of something that clearly it was his observation, Lopetegui's observation. But I hope he's really taken that to heart and thought, actually, that's good. I'm going to give my team some clear ideas. And if that's what we've got here, then I do think we're into a game. And I know I predicted a 3-0 loss before before the game, but I'm not so sure now. I'm certainly not so sure. I feel a little bit more buoyant about it. Certainly, I do think. I need to look at that Nottingham Forest team again, just ever so quickly. So I do wonder. If we've given them slightly more to think about than they've given us to think about. Yes, Gibbs White's included in it, but yeah, this could be very, very interesting. Of course, battle of the Wolves managers, even if Gibbs White wasn't there.
I've got one grumble. I think we're bowling up front. I prefer him out on the right, and I think Alex Moreno is somebody. I think he's their weakest player in that back line, and I was quite looking forward to just seeing Jared Bowen get at him this afternoon, and I think we could have had a bit of success through that avenue, but I'm assuming he's going to be central, and he's up against Milenkovic and Murillo, and I'm not sure he's going to get much against either of those centre-backs, actually. They're both really good individually and as a partnership, and I just worry that we've taken our, I would say, main threat. With Somerville on the pitch, we've now got more, but when you look at that team, on paper, personnel-wise, it's pretty defensive.
Yeah.
The two full-backs, three centre-backs and two defensive midfielders are starting. We've got an attacking midfielder bang out of form, and then we've got a winger who's looking good and another winger who's in and out of form, but he's still coming up with the goods. And I just worry that we've taken the guy that's most likely to score and put him in a position and made it more difficult for him to do just that.
I don't think he would have done. I think that'd be silly. I don't think he's not that silly. I'm sure he wouldn't have done that.
Well, you say that, but he did play Bowen up front earlier in the season, and also, he claimed he watched us all last season. That's why when he said about how he's Nottingham Forest are doing really well because of their tactical approach and whatever. I think, mate, you watched West Ham for a year, came up with a PowerPoint presentation, and I've seen very little evidence suggest you've been watching us for a year. Forgive me, and this is tongue-in-cheek, forgive me if I don't trust your judgment on Nottingham Forest after you looked at them for a handful of days, because I don't trust your judgment after watching West Ham for an entire year. So I'm just hoping, do you reckon, this is what Liam's saying here, Liam's saying perhaps it's Paqueta as a false nine with Bowen and Somerville?
100%, that's what I think is going to, not 100%, not 100%. So? That's what I think. Sorry, 100%. That's what's going to happen. I haven't got a bloody clue. I don't even know which club Gibbs White plays for. Don't listen to me. But I suspect that is that was my take on it. As soon as I saw the team, it was what Liam said there. Yeah, I don't occupy him at all. I just can't think for a moment any manager's going to go and put Bowen up against these two central defenders who you picked out in the preview as looking really, really shit hot, really. And I mean, obviously we were linked with the Fiorentina guy, Milenkovic. But we know Murillo because you picked him out a couple of seasons ago and he's looked absolutely brilliant since you picked him. Probably due to you picking him out. I think you're probably responsible for his good form.
You blame me. Anyway, right, let's see what you're all saying in the live chat. Get your thoughts in about the West Ham team, the Nottingham Forest team, take a few comments, and then we're going to get a little bet on and see if we can win someone a few quid. We went far away last week, actually. We had to choose between Alvarez and Paqueta to be booked. Went for Alvarez, and lo and behold, Paqueta got the yellow card. So we got the other parts of the bet won. Dan said main reason they're flying high is 3 of the 4 victories have been against Leicester, Palace and Southampton. They were very lucky in beating Liverpool. Mark says Paqueta's going to show something special today with 2 ahead of him making good runs. Do you think that's a fair assumption and hope?
I think so. Look, I don't know whether Paqueta's going to show something special today, but I think there'll be 2 ahead of him making good runs. He's half right, Mark. I hope it's fully right, though, obviously.
Topher said, I think it's Paqueta on the left, Bowen in the middle, and Somerville doing whatever I can't see that. And Somerville couldn't get on the pitch last week. I don't see him suddenly getting the free roll, I think.
Do what you want.
Brandon says, are we doing a 5-3-2? Bowen and Somerville up top. I can't make sense of our shape. Would rather have seen Irving start a game like this over Rodriguez.
I think the wing backs can be very forward. Very forward.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'd be calling them a 5. But yeah, as I said, I might call Alvarez and Rodriguez with the back 3 part of a 5. But honestly, I think you'll see Mavropanos as much as... I reckon that you will be at a freeze frame, take a screenshot of during gameplay. A lot of times it will look like Mavropanos is playing right back.
Yeah, as I say, when we get the old Wise Scout report for the player ratings, I think Wan-Bissaka and Emerson will be higher at the pitch than Alvarez and Rodriguez.
For sure.
So I think they'll be the Paqueta, possibly even higher than Paqueta if he's dropping back quite a bit. I think Bowen and Somerville will be ahead of them, but they might be our third and fourth highest players today.
I agree.
Nottingham Forest will have no problems inviting us on. Leo says, remember what we did to Milankovic in Prague? Bowen ran in behind him as well.
Hello. Good point.
Let's stop it. You're going to start getting my hopes up. Don't do this. Jordan said, whatever the formation, I still think the problem remains the same. There's very little comparative athleticism in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Maybe we'll crowd it out.
There's little options today, though, with Souček being out. It's, Irving's only midfielder on the bench for us. Guilherme's, a winger. We've got Ings and Antonio on the bench. There's the attacking options, and we've got Casey on there, and we've got Creswell. I suppose Soller's on the bench. I forgot about him. To be fair, I forgot about him watching him.
Didn't we all?
Oops. We've got Carlos.
When I do the payroll at the end of the week, and the secretary at West Ham, she's doing everyone's wages, and she says, "Boss, Mr. Sullivan, has somebody C Soler? Do we employ someone called C Soler? Apparently, he wants 125 grand wages."
That's a typo here.
Yeah.
Jeff said it would be interesting if he brings on Ings before Antonio.
Particularly as the club have wheeled out Antonio to do all the press about to face his former club. That would be. Well, I'd laugh if we won. I wouldn't laugh if we didn't.
Michael saying, someone else must have said it. Sorry to the person before Michael. Michael saying, just thinking that myself, could Wan-Bissaka be pushed up to the right wing and Mavropanos is right back?
I think it will look like that on occasion. I think that's how it will seem.
Yeah. Forest fan has said that he's pleased that Gibbs White's back for them. Good luck in today's game. We're gonna need it.
Humble.
I mean, he's not wrong.
No, please, Morgan Gibbs White is back. It all started off so nice.
Robert saying in regards to our lack of athletic players in midfield, he said let the ball do the work.
Well, we do, but then it goes to the opposition and they run back at us. That pesky ball keeps going to the team in the red shirts.
Lawson said Lopetegui hasn't got a Scooby. How's the team going to settle down if it changes week to week? Something that you were commenting on yesterday, Gonzo.
Yes, yeah.
In a video nobody went to watch.
I didn't. Obviously, Lawson was one of the many that didn't watch it.
Roger, to be fair, he might just be agreeing with us. Roger says 4-2-3-1, Mavropanos right back, Wan-Bissaka wing on right wing, Bowen up front. That's what Lopetegui probably do. I can't see it. I think it'll be.
I think it will
wing
tradition.
Backs.
It will. Yeah, so do I. But it will be points. As I say, if you were to freeze frame the game at certain points, it would look like that was the case. You'd see Wan-Bissaka in front of Mavropanos, but he's a little bit funky, and I think what you're going to see in possession and out of possession are going to be two separate things, but I guess a lot of teams do that, of course.
Right, we're going to put a bet on. Before we do that, just to remind people that Alphonse Areola's absent today. He has picked up a back injury in training, and Thomas Souček is absent today because he has a virus. So that explains both players missing. Gonzo, good news for you. It's 85 minutes at St James's Park, and it's still 1-0 Newcastle.
Come on.
So
I'm not a Newcastle fan, obviously.
For those that tuned in on the breakfast show this morning, Gonzo has got 1-0 Newcastle in his ACA, so that'd be a good start for you. But speaking,
it really would.
Well, could you continue your good charm with a little West Ham Nottingham Forest bet?
I said, didn't I? Actually, in my ACA. So my ACA, let's just get this right. It didn't work to start off with because I bet twice on the West Ham Forest game. So first of all, I bet 1-1. Forgot I'd bet 1-1, then I bet 2-1. But I deleted the 1-1. So part of my bet is my ACA is that West Ham win 2-1 today.
Okay, so that's nice. But what are you wanting for this bet?
Oh, right. Oh, sorry. We're all pleased for you, but people want to win some money.
Exactly. That doesn't help me.
Stop talking about yourself again. Yeah, okay, I get it. Right. Well, West Ham win, obviously.
Right. Okay. Let's whack that in.
You could steal my 2-1 if you want. That'd do it.
11-4 is good odds, to be fair. Total goals. We'll do over 1 goal, so if it's 2-0, we can cover that as well. Any player you fancy to score? Any shots on target? Anyone to get booked? Anything you?
I was going to say, I thought you were going to say any player you fancy. I was going to say, yeah, Carlos Soler, he's a good looker, but he can't kick a ball. What do we want? We can't score a corner because we can't take them.
What do you reckon about Mavropanos' car? Who do you think's playing right centre back? Mavropanos and Todibo in the middle.
Yeah.
So what do you reckon to a Mavropanos card? Because he's going to get dragged out wide to face Hudson-Odoi. But he might get subbed.
I think you're much safer with the 2 regular card getters.
Well, the odds are obviously reflective, but who would you like to put in there, Paqueta or Alvarez? Basically, is Uncle Bruno cashing in today?
Uncle Bruno, he's got places to be. He's got a hearing to attend.
Someone said on a previous video we did this week. They said they think Paqueta's getting booked every game now to build his case for the hearing, which is like, look, I just get booked every game. I'm just crap. I just get booked every single game.
That is excellent. And also, if Uncle Bruno's also put in a couple of quid, like myself, he phoned me earlier, Uncle Bruno, and said, "What do you fancy for the Newcastle Arsenal game?" He didn't. That's a joke. It's all anyway. Sorry, I should probably say that. It was just a joke. It was a text. I think Paqueta card.
Okay, and is there anyone you fancy to score or anything like that? Because at the minute, it's not, the odds aren't juicy enough yet.
Well, go on, you pick something.
Well, if you reckon we're going to score 2, I think either Somerville or Bowen for the...
We'd have to do Bowen, wouldn't you?
Let's do Bowen. And we've got a boost. We've got under 25% returns boost. So let's pop that on. £138. So if this bet wins, there's only 4 things. If these 4 things occur, one of you lot will win 130 quid. The bet is as follows. West Ham to win the match. If West Ham go 2-0 up, that's automatically settled as a winner. Even if it finishes 2-2, we've won that part of the bet. So West Ham to win the game. Over 1 goal, so 2-0, 2-1, 3-1, etc. Lucas Paqueta to be carded and Jared Bowen to score a goal. £130 to enter. In the live chat, please put the following phrase.
Mr. Anderson.
Get that into the live chat. And I think we've got another Nottingham Forest fan because Tommy K says you ain't scoring 2 with some laughing emojis.
They're nice, these Mod Forest fans. They're lovely.
Well, I mean, I agree with Tommy, but it's a West Ham channel. I'm not sure.
I know. Like we're not meant to be behind our team. He's not got the old. He's on the internet, but he don't understand how it works.
It's just a bit of fun, Tommy, mate. It's not. It's just a little bit of a bet.
He's offended. He's not. He won't be the first or the last.
It's just a bet, and hopefully we can win someone some money. Because do you know how crap it would feel if we put £5 on Forest to win 2-0, Wood to score, Hudson-Odoi to score, and then West Ham actually win 2-1?
That wouldn't work. It wouldn't work as a channel, would it? It probably wouldn't work if you did that on Nottingham Forest channel, Tommy. To be honest with you, I don't think you were laughing as many emojis as you suggested either. I think he's grumpy. Oh, he's got a red face. He's got a red steaming face with a steam coming out the ears. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, he's tuning into the West Ham build-up shows. Forest, there must be a Forest channel somewhere.
Poor Forest channel. Poor Forest chat. Whatever it is, Robin Hood chat or whatever they're called. I think I feel sorry for them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Go and follow your own people.
I bet they don't even have a bet giveaway. They don't
give you nothing, Tommy.
No, they don't give
but I'll
you
tell you
anything.
what we will do. If you write Mr. Anderson and the bet comes in,
you won't win.
I'm going to give it to a West Ham fan because we're a West Ham channel. Go on, jog on.
Dean says we can't score, so the genius in charge looks and thinks, let's have even less attackers on the pitch. The bloke is brilliant. And he's put a couple of clown emojis there, has Dean, just to emphasise his tone. And Brandon says, imagine if all the people who were commenting Mr. Anderson would drop a like in the video. Okay, thanks. I don't read comments for a click on. If I did, it would take too long. So I just have to click and hope I'm not being trolled. But thank you very much, Brandon.
If you could say Mr. Anderson whilst you're clicking like, that'd be very good.
Yeah. Michael said, I like that we're using our 3 centre-backs. They're all capable of starting an attack. Matt pre-assist type of pass and driving runs.
Yeah.
Well, they've all contributed, haven't they?
For sure.
Kilman got that assist at Palace, which set up our, big win. There you go. Harry, thank you very much. You reminded me to go have a little look. The Nottingham Forest team is on your screen now. I'll switch it to the West Ham one in just a minute. But that's the Nottingham Forest team on your screen for you, and they will be playing in that formation, and everybody's in the right positions, according to me, the Nottingham Forest expert. Martin says, sadly, I suspect that Forest might win 2-1. I really hope that we get a back-to-back win. Do you know what I will say, actually, Gonzo? I was thinking about this earlier. During the international break a couple of weeks ago, I was looking ahead to the 4 fixtures. Tottenham, Man U, Nottingham Forest, Everton. I said, right, this is the 4. This is a good set of fixtures to work out Lopetegui, but also to work out our potential for the season. So we come out of it with a crap points haul. We're probably not looking forward to much in May. But I said if we could come out of it with a minimum of 7, I think we're still on the brink of a European dream. And I know that's going to sound ludicrous. And I know people are going to say, well, you've obviously not... Well, I've criticised Lopetegui enough, and I shall do when necessary. I shall do if I feel necessary in future. But I'm going to stick to what I said. If we could get 7 points from those 4 games, that sets us up for coming out the next international break, which is only a couple of weeks away, in good shape, actually. We win today, we're going to the top half of the table. Everton at home next week. Things are looking all right. And then if we could get a win today and a win against Everton, I'll be honest with you, I will get my hopes up a little bit. And I ain't going to apologise for that, because, you know, when a couple of Nottingham Forest fans commented on previews, they said, I'm getting my hopes up a little bit and stuff. Good, do it. Get your hopes up. That's if you cannot, as a Forest fan, not enjoy the start to the season,
for sure.
Instead of going, oh, well, it's not going to finish 15th. Do you know what you might do, right? But there's no point thinking like that. There's no point being negative about something that hasn't happened yet. Just enjoy it while it lasts. And if you're able to just have a little hope and a little dream, I think that's important in football. And if we win today in Everton, I'm going to spend international break thinking, could we do this? Because I think there'd very quickly be just as much reasons as to why we could as to why we couldn't. I think that this game and next weekend, I think, are quite pivotal to moulding how I feel about the rest of the season, actually.
No, I think you make great points there, and it is a big game for that. It really is. To move in back-to-back wins, top half of the table would be really, really good. And of course, yes, it'd be very West Ham to then go and lose against Everton if that was the case. But if we can, just, you know, sometimes managers, coaches need to stumble upon something. And it may well be that that's the case. Maybe the answer all along is to play all your centre-backs and no striker. You just don't know. Is that the answer? I mean, Fulkrug's busy. He's doing family fortunes or whatever. He's got no time for West Ham stuff, and he's wearing his new clothing line, his nice fashion that he's wearing. And, you know, so we don't have a striker. No striker, no problem. We'll just chuck another centre-back in there and just maybe... I've seen it happen, going all the way back, and this will have happened before that, but the big one was 1990 World Cup, Bobby Robson. You know, just sometimes you stumble across a formation and you stick with it. It may well be that this is it. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's what we've got to be for a little while. We've got to be that team that stick a lot of men behind the ball and just counter-attack. And if it works... You know, fair enough. I'm not sure that is going to be what happens, by the way. But yeah, big game today. If we can win this, I just think that the whole vibe around what you're saying is right. And you won't be the only one that would then allow yourself a little dream, because, yeah, why not? But you're right. Palace fans should dream. They're in the top 6 at the moment. Why shouldn't they dream? Crikey, I don't know which team we're playing. Who Morgan Gibbs White plays for. I don't know why he's in that Forest team on that graphic, by the way.
Well, I've changed the graphic. It's now West Ham.
Oh, I don't even know that. I'm not looking at it. That's why. But I've been looking at you a second ago, Geo, looking highly much improved from how you looked earlier. Truth be known, after your night out on the,
I had a big perked me right up.
Yeah, oh, brilliant. But yeah, well, anyway, whatever I was saying, just ignore that, and we'll do some comments.
Michael said, I'll go off field and say, let's be realistic now. If we beat Forest and Everton, we will win the league. Good, right. Man. I like it. For what's worth, I'm not saying I think we'll go on and get European football. I'll allow myself to dream of getting European. You have to remember, there is a possibility that 8 teams get European football.
Yeah.
More than 1/3 of the league.
You haven't even got to be good to qualify for Europe.
You just need to finish in the bottom of the top half, right? It's not...
Average gets you European football.
Yeah, exactly. So is it difficult? Yes, because there's a lot of teams vying for those places. But do you have to have an incredible season? No, not really. You just have to have a good one. It depends. It depends on who you are. Obviously, Ipswich, we need to have an incredible season to qualify for European football. But West Ham and teams like ourselves, Brighton, we just have to have a good season. Hope a couple of other teams have a bad season. and we're in there.
And we were, Gio, when we won. We won back in 2023 or 2024, as our T-shirt said. We were the best average team in Europe, and that's something to strive for.
Look, the chat's informing us, Gonzo, Declan Rice has just missed a sitter, so it remains 1-0. So Rice has possibly just done you a favour here. Daniel said he's feeling upbeat today. Why? Don't really know, but I'm going with it. Love that. And Collinwood said, Lopetegui lesson incoming. Not sure who's going to be the one doing the learning, though. Westwood said, I bet he set us up 4-4-2, but nobody could understand him.
The old translation again, yeah.
Yeah. Iron Mart says, can't believe Paqueta's starting. His head's gone and he's been very poor.
Can't argue with that, can you?
Robert says, so you pick Paqueta even if his form sucks. Doesn't make sense unless everyone else sucks.
It's a lot of sucking going on there.
The thing is, right, I agree with them. I think Paqueta's been bang out of form. I mean, he should have been dropped a few weeks ago. Yeah. It's just finished St James's Park, Gonzo, 1-0 Newcastle. But today, there's just a lack of options. If he's decided to play 3 at the back, it sort of dictates who you can select further up the pitch, because you're basing your team around having a back 3 formation. So you have to then play 3 centre-backs. You have to play Wan-Bissaka and Emerson. He perhaps doesn't have to play both sitting midfielders, but if you look at the bench, because that's who's available, are you drafting in Andy Irving? It's done on a whim and a prayer if you do so. He's looked all right so far, but it's been fleeting and the circumstances haven't been... He hasn't started a Premier League game, for example, so I don't really know. Soler hasn't done much. Guilherme... Then what do you do? Bring in just keep Antonio in the team, who hasn't been the best. He's been okay, Antonio, but then do you keep bringing him and drop Bowen? I sort of get why he's gone Paqueta today. I think Paqueta's very fortunate to play, and he doesn't deserve to play. But I do think it's a little bit slim pickings for Lopetegui, actually.
Yeah. I agree. I don't possibly going to see 5 substitutions today, quite possibly, with that bench.
Depends on the way the game's going. If we're 2-0 down, I think he will, because I do think he's showing, when we do concede a goal, he's showing that he can be quite quick to react, and it's not always a good thing. That he just decides, that's it, I'm doing 3 subs now, and he just changes it. He's got Antonio on there. He's got Ings as well, and Ings will have a lot of sort of credit in the bank with Lopetegui, I think. He's come off the bench and got the equaliser at Fulham, come on last weekend, set up Somerville, won the penalty. So actually, Ings will be well within his right to be stood there after the hour mark, going, when am I getting on, Gaffer? I think it's a very fair question. So, and this is the type of game where if a centre-back gets injured and it's working, you might just have to use Casey. You have to turn around and say, right, you're up, son. Like, this is your time. It's either that or you drop Alvarez in there, but then you bring in Irving in centre midfield. Then you're moving 2 players rather than just 1. So I think you'd be better. So Casey might end up getting a shout, but
if only we had John Egan.
I'd still prefer Caelan Casey to. I don't know what he's done since he's gone to Burnley. I don't even know if he's playing or anything. I couldn't tell you. Liam said maybe it's Wan-Bissaka right wing. Just that now he has Mavropanos at right back covering for him. Ben reckons Danny Ings deserves a start. Flynn says we do need Paqueta to play well, because when we do, we have played some of the best football I've seen us play. Mancuni said 5 at the back. We're looking at getting a point here. Do you think that's what he's done? Do you think he's set us up to be hard to beat rather than
I think he's set us up to be hard to beat, but I don't think... I am quite sure that Lopetegui will be going for the win in his own mind. I'm quite certain that I'd be really pleased if what he's going to do is going to try and sit back and try and hit them on the counter-attack and try and make them play out. I do think if we try and do the funny stuff that we did in the second half against Tottenham or whatever, then they're just going to eat us for breakfast. I really do think so. So I wouldn't mind that. But if he does keep it tight, it won't because he thinks he's going to get a draw. It'll be because he really believes his tactics going to nick one on the break. I do think even though he sometimes looks incompetent, and even though maybe sometimes the team don't understand what he's saying, I do think he's trying to get the win. I really do.
Graham said, I'd go with Soler in the middle. He hasn't had a chance in his proper position. Mandy likes the line-up and says that Wan-Bissaka and Emerson will be attacking the sides. Frog is saying, have we won 2 Premier League games on the bounce this calendar year?
Well, I'd be unlikely, wouldn't it? I would think not. I'd imagine. I don't know. I think. It's happened once, but I can't. Certainly not this season.
Young says, I'm a Forest fan. Reckon it'll be a close game, but I feel without you having a true number 9, you'll struggle against our defence.
Very nice. You're very welcome.
Yeah.
Nice and polite.
Make sure you get Mr. Anderson to the live chat, Young.
Absolutely.
You're in with a shout, my friend. Charlie C said, I love this lineup. It's very clever. Completely shuts off inform Hudson-Odoi and Alanga feeding Wood. Ben replying to a Nottingham Forest fan, just saying that we've never had a true number 9.
We've bought a few and it just doesn't work out. Yeah.
Why? John saying, why not Andy Irving playing? Young, speedy, and can play football with the ball. I don't know if I'd describe him as speedy.
No, speedy, yeah.
He's not particularly young either.
He's old, slow, and can play football with the football.
Which is basically what we've already got in midfield.
It's true. There you go, John. That's why. Geo sussed it out.
Jake saying it looks like a 5-3-2 to him. Josiah saying excited to see what the Mosquito Fleet will do up front. Mandy saying 3 at the back with Emerson. That's Mandy replying to someone else. Graham saying we need more Wood jokes.
Yeah.
You're under pressure now, aren't you?
What, me?
Yeah,
no, I don't know. I was only thinking rude. I don't know. I would do another one, but Timber plays for Arsenal. There you go.
Right then, keep your thoughts coming into the live chat, Gonzo. Because we've got this new system, often I forget to get a bit of a summary from you before we switch over to the boys. So you've seen the lineups now. You said 3-0 in a preview. Also, I feel like you have actually said I'm feeling a bit more optimistic.
Yeah.
How much more optimistic are you feeling, and what is the reasons?
I am feeling more optimistic. I am thinking because he's changed the formation, because he's given the opposition something to think about. I think he's been flirting with a back 3 continually this season, but constantly. Carry out whatever the tactical plan is. And I think lastly, I suspect, and I'll be proven wrong or correct within 2 minutes of watching the game, I suspect we're not playing with a striker. And I just think we might nullify what they're trying to do and what they're used to doing. I suspect. Did you ask for a scoreline?
In a second, just for people, you lost Gonzo for a minute. He's back. Don't worry. Leo's right. I did something wrong.
Did you?
Yeah, I was trying to set up. I was trying to set Mark up in the next bit, but I didn't go into studio mode, so I went into I changed scenes so people could see what I was trying to do rather than.
Did they not see? They didn't. Did you take me away? Just the audio or visually as well? Well, they denied that as well.
They couldn't see you and they couldn't hear you. All they could do was hear me clicking.
Listen, I've had an itchy bum for the past 20 minutes. I could have had a sneaky scratch if I'd have known I was going to not be live.
But the bit you missed was Gonzo saying we're going to win 6-0.
You missed that. I missed that today.
And anyone that's doubting
Lopetegui's off the head. Start from? What did you miss?
Just repeat yourself. I can't recall.
I always repeat myself because I forget what I've just said. But what I said was he's been toying at playing with a back 3 by asking Alvarez and Rodriguez to drop in there. I've been given more confidence by the fact actually if he's going to do it, just do it. I don't think we'll see them drop in there. We've got a proper sort of established 3 central defenders in there, which I think is going to be good. And I think it would have given the opposition manager, he won't have been thinking about that. I think if he's kept the instructions simple and he's not going to be asking people to do things that they're probably not capable of doing out of position. And I also do suspect, and we will find out whether this is the case very early within a minute or two of watching the game, if he's been very clever, he'll be playing a false 9, and it will give them a problem with who to mark. And so because of that, I'm a lot more confident because of the team. I'm not disappointed with the team. I'm pleased to see him do something different.
So what's your score prediction, sorry?
The score prediction, I have now switched completely, and I'm going with what my bet is, which I'm already won it on the ACCA because of the Newcastle result. I'm going to go with a 2-1 to West Ham.
What's the rest of your ACCA? I want to know, because if you win big money, I need to know in case you do smash it. Me, Nick, and Mark are going to be waiting for a little gift from you later.
All the screens on blank and.
Of course it is. What else you got?
These androids. Shocking.
What have you actually got?
You can rewind. You go and watch a breakfast show on Patreon.
I don't want to do that.
Guys, take advantage of our 7-day free trial over on patreon.com/HammersChat and find out what I actually bet.
Yeah, but actually, to be fair, if you are a patron, get logged in and get a prediction competition in. If you're a supporter this week, I think. I could be wrong here. I think if you're a supporter and you're the overall winner, you will win a signed print. You can choose the print. There's various different players. Tony Cotty, Phil Parks, Ray Stewart, Tony Gale. There's quite a few different prints we've got, so you can pick one. If you're a mild addict and you win it, you get 2 prints. Again, you pick which 2. But if you're an addict, you win a signed Paul Di Canio armband as well as 2 prints as well. So get logged in and get your prediction competitions into...
And may I just say, because nobody watched the video me and Geo did yesterday, I'm bitter about it or anything like that. You won't have known that Geo had his pumpkin stolen from his doorstep on Halloween by thieving trick-or-treaters, and there's a chance to go and watch that over on our Naked podcast over on Patreon. I
showed the footage of my Ring doorbell of the thieving little scum approaching my doorstep and swiping my it's not even my one.
They took his missus, a future Mrs. Geo. They took her pumpkin, her carving, rather than Geo's. It was like a double. It was a theft and an insult, as if to say, Geo, your carving's crap.
Yeah, but do you know the worst thing? Her pumpkin, she did one of those ones where you cut them out and you pull the insides of the pumpkin out so it looks like it's been sick, right? Yeah. So he stole that one, but the sick remained on the doorstep.
It often does.
So he now has a pumpkin that looks like a prostitute.
Prostitute pumpkin. I've seen worse. I don't have Simon from ETC as well. ETC Sports, by the way, boys and girls. Go and check that out for your sports services. The Halloween thing that he sent me was truly disturbing and would certainly deter any trick-or-treaters, but I'll leave that to your imagination. Michael
said...
It's not his, by the way.
Michael said the pumpkin in the store was you after 3 pints.
Probably. Hey, I'm anyone's after that.
Oh, brilliant. Anyway...
I did with a pumpkin that you should worry about.
I'm going to stick with my... I kind of stick with my preview. I said we'd lose 2-0. I'm going to downgrade it a little, or upgrade it rather, a little bit, and say that I think we'll lose 1-0. I'm just not... I'm intrigued by the formation, and I sort of applaud him for doing something a little bit different. It just feels a bit drastic. It feels like he's ripped up everything and gone again, which is okay, but I didn't feel like... Whilst I had complaints a lot over Lopetegui's style, and still do, I didn't feel like it was that bad. I felt there was quite a few things that were working and just needed moulded a little bit. And I feel like he's just completely reset it. And I think, well, this needs to work, because if it doesn't, I already know what's going to happen next weekend is we're going to revert back to what we were doing against Man United. So it's just a little bit of a head scratcher. And in order to think that we are going to win this game, I have to feel confident that this formation change will work. And I can only base that off of the evidence of Lopetegui thus far. And my conclusion is, I don't think it will. He's been trying all these other things and it's not been working. So why would this suddenly start working? I'm not sure it will. So I'm going to stick with a West Ham defeat, unfortunately. But hopefully we win. And hopefully we win and someone wins the bet. And it won't be Tommy. He will not be getting it. He can do one. He ain't getting it. Anyway, right then, myself and Gonzo going to disappear, but don't go anywhere because Northie and Nick are coming up in a few seconds. They're here with the watch along to provide fan commentary from all the action. But before we get them up on your screen, just want to point in direction of this video sponsors, Match Bingo. If you would like to add a little bit of spice to today's game, then you can do that on the Match Bingo app. The link is in the description below. Please do use that link in order to download the app so they know you come from Hammers Chat, and we get the credit from Match Bingo. They say, hey, nice one, you two are doing your job really well. Thank you very much. Get signed up. Two promotions for you today. If you deposit £10, you get £10 free credit as well. So you got 20 quid to spend from your £10 deposit, a little bit more bang from your buck. And also the Nottingham Forest West Ham game has a promotion on. You buy 3 cards, you get 2 free. So you get 5 for the price of 3. Match Bingo is that traditional game combined with football. You'll get 15 events you need to occur during the Nottingham Forest West Ham game. There's some really simple things on the cards. West Ham take a kick-off. Nottingham Forest take a kick-off. West Ham get a corner. West Ham to have a left-footed shot on target, which is good when you've got Paqueta and Jared Bowen playing. And there's some slightly trickier ones as well, but it pays out the first person to get the first line, second line, as well as a full house, plus there's a bonus pot as well for anyone that does get full house, but they weren't quite first. So get involved. It's only £2 per play, but it is a gambling app, so please do gamble responsibly. 18 plus years and over only. There you go, Gonzo. Promo over. You ready to disappear and get Northie and Nick up?
I am ready.
Right then, thank you very much for joining us. Don't go anywhere, because here is Nick and Northie.
Hello, hello.
Oh, hi. Should probably turn my microphone on then.
Yeah, that usually helps, mate.
Not for your back. It was just me, just on my just in solo.
And how was it? How was it? That I mean, I can only get it on the radio, so I didn't see too much of the.
Tried to get me on the radio.
Sorry.
I was attempting banter, but you didn't hear it. So, like, we're off to we're off to just massive success so far. I think first impressions are everything. Start how you mean to go on, etc. Yeah, I'm glad you're back. I mean, it is a lot of work to do for one person. Obviously, I had very constructive, helpful, and supportive feedback from the chat about what a terrible job I was doing at times. So that helped because then I knew where to improve. So that was that. So yeah, I'm glad you're back. Then I can make sure I'm actually just paying attention to all the different things that I need to pay attention. I see you have new specs. You've gone in that kind of Chris Skull, who I learned is the name of the London Stadium, announcer. What would you call him? Compare, bit posh for a London stadium.
Yeah, definitely announcer.
Stadium announcer. Yeah, you've gone for. He's obviously inspired your bespectacled fashion choices.
Absolutely, mate. Yeah, I need a bit of a fashion advice. I'm not too up on the fashion, so.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm definitely the person that anyone would want to take fashion advice from if you wanted to look like a homeless person who'd found a lot of West Ham clothing, or just Nick sounds so posh. We could go on to just sartorial choices. We just bollocks the football. It's 2 hours of fashion chat.
And whose line is it anyway? Type satirical stuff. Well, but on this, I mean, when I looked at this lineup, firstly, I was happy not to see Antonio in it. Very happy to see him on the bench.
Okay, a bit mean, but fair enough.
No, he's knackered. He's knackered. Yeah, he cannot play another game for West Ham. He just can't do it. He's just dead.
Replacing the 34-year-old with the 32-year-old striker in the Man U game was, I suppose, what young people would call peak West Ham at that point. I mean, Ings is younger, but yeah, very, very geriatric. I just think for the game today, it all depends on it's the first 5 minutes. I think obviously we can look at it, formations, players. Yeah, we could definitely get something up today, but it's, will the players actually turn up in the first 5 or 10 minutes?
Do you like the balance of this team, though? I mean, when you look at it, I actually think this looks like a more balanced team than I've seen all season. It is quite defensive. I think we've only really got Somerville, Bowen, Wan-Bissaka that could, really bomb forward. So I think it's going to be a game of, it's not going to be a high scoring one, but when are they with West Ham, to be honest, unless it's against us. So, but I think this has got a good balance against it, and against a team that's playing really well, in form. They've got an inflated league position at the moment. They're not going to finish up there. But I think this is I'm confident of a draw. That's how excited I am at the moment.
I'm not sure it's possible to be confident of a draw. I think you've entered a new dimension of football supporting and score predictions at that point. But I'll go with it. I mean, yeah, if you had to choose anything, firstly, I'd take a draw because it's an away point. So why not? Home win, away point. That would be nice. 4 points in 2 games. But we could win. Like, it's possible. It's just, I'm just guarding my ambition at this point. Because again, yeah, like you say, it looks good. I don't think, I mean, obviously the Paqueta playing thing,
yeah,
ideally speaking, he'd be on the bench and there would be something else going on. Personally, I would like to see Ings instead of Paqueta. Obviously, the kind of team builder thing on the screen, they've just thrown like Paqueta, Bowen and Somerville as a 3, but then we'll see in the next 14 minutes whether that's true or not. So have some, Tony just signed on, whereas Arioli had a back injury in training just beforehand.
I heard it was a virus as well. A couple of people have got virus in the squad, so they're out. Not sure which one's right.
Yeah, that's why Sue checks out. No need for the Antonio hate. I just think you said he's old. I
don't like him.
Yeah, and like, we're much older. It's not an ageism thing, but he's too old.
Yeah, he should have just. I mean, I love him for what he's done, so I don't hate him for that. I think he's been brilliant for us. I just think he should have stopped 2-3 years ago. To keep having him as a regular starter at this age of his career, it seems crazy to me. It's West Ham.
Yeah, I mean, we have three strikers, and they're about 100 years when their ages are put together. Felix says Paqueta can be very sloppy with the ball. Yeah, I mean, the thing about Paqueta is if he is in what we all just have to call the false 9, no matter the wankiness of that terminology, at least he's like the furthest away from goal that he can be. I mean, usual suspect just goes in with just a complete confidence bordering on arrogance. It's only Nottingham Forest, FFS. I did say, like, this does give me a chance to firstly repeat myself. Secondly, just promote my brand new. I opened a TikTok account. Talking of being too old for TikTok. By now, I have a TikTok account. Hammers Chat Nick. Lots of just zippy, witty banter on there. It's lovely. And I made a comment on there that on Geo and Gonzo's match preview, possibly on Thursday, they were very complimentary to Forest for a few reasons. Firstly, because Forest have a good run of form, so why not? And also because we're doing crap. So at the time we're doing crap, it's always, which is usually, it's always very easy to look at other teams and see that they're doing well. And obviously we can just look and say they're doing well. Usually their fans are moaning at the same time. Forest fans aren't really moaning now. And because they were saying nice things, a lot of Forest fans jumped in the comments of that YouTube video saying, "Oh yeah, I think you've got that right." A lot of commentators have got that wrong, but you're saying nice things about us. So I think that's a balanced opinion, and they were all very, very happy with that. I only really have like one Nottingham Forest friend. He's not really my friend. We haven't spoken for about 15 years, which happens to me a lot with a lot of my friends. Can't really fathom why. But yeah, I've been to Forest once, and I didn't mind them. You know, the fan base, banter, singing. When they came to London Stadium last year, they sung too much, and then they lost 3-2. Of course, we equalised 2-2 when they were like mid-peak song, and then they got very embarrassed and shut up. But partially because of my friend who's now like estranged me, I dislike them. Do you have any feelings about Forest?
No, I quite like Forest actually. Football team that I used to run, the manager was a Forest fan, and I don't think there's any bad blood. I mean, I think some of them still think they're a big team, which is going to pee off anyone who's a Forest fan in this chat. They're not a big team anymore. They've got a great history, but they're not a big team. But a team I don't want to go down. I think there's teams I would rather see go down ahead of them. Like teams I've got a lot more hate for, Everton, and others like that.
Yeah. I guess like there are others who you wouldn't mind if they were just
be gone.
Kind of got rid of. Yeah, Froggenwell says Ariel accurately distributed the ball in training and his body went in shot. You're like that because you don't like. You hate Areola according to social media terminology. I mean, you did say bad blood, and at the same time, Shamrock Dan said AIDS virus. So I didn't know if that was a kind of coincidence.
Yeah, I totally agree with Frog in the World there. He's not a Premier League keeper for me. He's not. He's not a Premier League keeper for me. I think he's poor in too many areas.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy K says we're a massive team, but I guess Tommy K may be a Forest fan. The only thing is, impartially, did mention 2 weeks ago, you'll all remember, that obviously for various reasons, like impartially, Tottenham's, any of the songs they have, which is very minimal, they don't really have any, are much worse than ours at an impartial, neutral perspective. And we obviously have West Ham a massive everywhere we go. Their version is, I think, Forest Star Magic. I think it's Magic, not Massive, on and off the pitch. It could be Forest Massive on and off the pitch, or it could be Magic on and off the pitch. But it's not really good. It doesn't really go because when we finish with the everywhere we go, you can like elongate that.
Yeah,
you can't really with pitch on and off the pitch. Doesn't work. Ends with itch. Makes people think about Swan Pass or something like that. So I don't know if Tommy K can clarify that. The other, Flynn Kneebone. If Forest went down, we'd sign Chris Wood. Probably.
Yes, we probably would. Yeah.
Probably would. Anyway, I've got my delicious the old ding ding tea ready. I've got some just fantastic Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Venezuelan dark chocolate, 70% as my fuel. Are you planning on any form of hydration for the next 2 hours, or are you getting over your sickness?
Yeah, I have. I've lost a stone since the last time I was on here, so I don't know if the camera can pick that up, but I have not been in a good way. So yeah, I'm just on water. So if I have to dash it halfway through at any point, if my screen goes blank at any point during this, then I'll be off back to the house.
Well, I mean, you could have a bucket there, something like that, as long as it's not as long as it's not a wicker basket.
I'm starting to sound a bit like Sean Dyche as well.
You're not that bad. Anyway, so that will be Geo just probably in the back end, so to speak. Please drop a like on the video. Helps out the channel. These two boys deserve a damn good hiding, he says. City Soler says some will score. And we are now at 8 minutes, which gives me perfect timing to firstly remind everyone to get their Match Bingo cards. Just go to the description below. Go to Match Bingo via the link below, and then they'll say, Geo Gonzo, you're very good, and that will make them happy, and they can talk about things other than Geo's fiance's pumpkin, which I didn't realize that would be the last thing that they signed off with, but it was. So go to Match Bingo. There's lots of deals. Deposit £10, get another £10, and also each bingo card is £2. You get a bingo card, and it just gives you a randomized line of 5 things. We had someone from the Hams Chat patron won 50 quid either 1 or 2 weeks ago off a £2 card, and it's just generally a good thing to do. So there's that, and there's also score predictions and first goal scorer. I always feel like it might change because of the formation, but I always feel like Ilanga's the type of player to score against us in a counter attack, because it just feels like we always let in goals like that. Like, he's obviously quick, they'll obviously counter, but it's just one that you can see happening when he's just running through on goal.
It'll be Chris Wood. It'll be the worst player on the pitch that scores against us, because it usually is the way. It's usually the strikers that haven't scored for ages.
I mean, yes, Chris Wood is the exact kind of player. He's like that kind of Callum Wilson kind of player.
Yeah,
that always seems. And that one for Brighton that scored against us every single game. Obviously, he retired a couple of years ago. I can't remember his name. What's his name?
Testing my memory now.
Who was the Brighton striker? I mean, talking of just being...
Well, I think it's Welbeck. But...
Who was the Brighton striker? First person in the chat. The Brighton striker who always scored against us, and he wasn't even that good. Well, I can see him now. He had thinning kind of blonde hair, much like some of us here. His name... Oh, Glenn Murray. There we go. There we go. That was it. That's why I couldn't remember his name. Such a shit name.
That is a bang average name.
Absolutely pants name. Just constantly scored against the. Yeah, the Mourinho talk is still coming. The Mourinho talk from Andrew there. That's why I wouldn't mind him as our manager, because he does have value. Like even at his
Yeah,
age, even after all he's done, placing the laptop screen with the VAR in front of the TV camera, I just like that kind of thing. And he's old.
I like him. I'd take him all day long. I know people say he's not the most exciting football, but he's actually. I mean, he wins things. He does win things, proper things, and he's quite a dick. I quite like managers who are dicks. I think it's fun. There's so many bland ones around. There's so many with no personality.
Yeah.
So he's one of those managers. It's like players. There's always players that you really hate on other people's teams. But if they were in your team, you would fucking love them. You know, and that's always the same. I think Mourinho is one of those. Like, he's not your manager, he's an absolute arse. Otherwise, he's quality. So no, I'd take him over Loppy any day. But it's early days with Loppy, so I'm still on the fence.
You get 3 back-to-back wins. Frog and Well says, if a wood falls in the forest, does it make a sound or something? A lot of people don't. Andrew Mourinho's a busted flush. Mourinho isn't OAP. There's nothing wrong with OAPs. We'll all be there sometimes. Somerville, the town where the sun never sets. There's just a bit of poetry there from Jay Watson. Yeah, obviously people are also talking about the Amorim thing. Obviously, when West Ham get a new manager, we're not allowed to be careful what you wish for. This is terrible. Moyes still obviously has no job offers incoming. Shocking that Man U didn't offer him the job again, or now Sporting are out of a manager. Maybe they'll offer David Moyes the job. Obviously, they won't. Sky Sports today called the appointment of a new manager at Manchester United, which happens frequently in the last 10 or 12 years, they called it momentous. So if you didn't know, if you were just lying in bed at night, you couldn't sleep because you were trying to think, how do we clarify the club, Manchester United, having a new manager? I already know the word is momentous. It is momentous that they've appointed a new manager.
You've got to think that West Ham also turned down Unai Emery twice. So they've turned down Amorim and Unai Emery, and they've got in Moyes and Lopetegui. So, yeah, it's
very true. I mean, yeah, Unai Emery was turned down by a lot of people, though. I mean, he was obviously, got rid of by Arsenal, who I saw lost today. So you'd have to think their title challenge is over, not only because of the points, but just about what their performances say.
It's 8 points now, isn't it? Good to see.
Just too many. Too many points. Ben says, Amorim is gone like Duran. Let's move on. You're mentioning it. You're bringing it up again, Ben. I didn't want to think about that.
Someone did mention Southgate there as well.
Yeah, Dean Hodges, Mourinho leaves Australia destruction behind him. We're already, like, that's the thing. Like, we're pre-destructed. We're nonsense anyway. So also turned down Arne's slot. Well,
You think we've won 3 games this year? We've only one of them really a deserved win. There's only the Ipswich game we deserved. We were lucky against we scraped against Man U, and we scraped against Palace really because they hit the post a couple of times. So we've not. Yeah, I'm still worried about today, but I'm hopeful of a draw. What was your score prediction? Did you say?
I have no idea, so I'm just sitting on the fence and saying a draw. I think 2-2 Elanga. I mean, Elanga, Chris Wood. The Chris Wood thing. He is the type of player to score against, but with a back 3, that would make it even more embarrassing. Like, there's 3 central defenders there, and all they need to know is Chris Wood will look for it in the box. He's in the box. When you see the play wide, when Elanga's wide, Hudson-Odoi's wide, anyone's wide, they will be looking for that dude who keeps scoring in the box goals. Where is he? Get him. So that's the first thing.
I mean, Gibbs White, Elanga, and Hudson-Odoi. I mean, that's pretty decent, isn't it? As a three strong attacking midfielders. So I think it's going to be backs to the wall for us today. I think we can do it.
Yes.
Draw, maybe a lucky win.
So anyway, score predictions in the chat. Score predictions and first scorer, please. Get them in, and then it's recorded forevermore in the ether of the internet. And then if you're right, that would be a great moment in your life when you look back at it. It will also allow me to just click various things to see if I can get a radio stream happening or something text-based that allows me to imagine what is happening in the game.
Like Dave's comment there. Any West Ham manager has to be old enough to remember the craze so that Sullivan can tell his fake extent gangster stories. Well, yeah, it does seem the average age of our managers. There's certainly no young, up and coming ones amongst them. I can remember. Pardew's probably the youngest one I remember. Any other younger managers we've had?
I mean, Gianfranco Zola wasn't old per se,
Yeah,
but
he
was barely our manager. Apart from that, I don't know
too much.
That's about it. I think yeah, Kevin Keane is interim manager for a few weeks. Apart from that, they're usually quite decrepit and not the whole. They're not up and coming. They don't have like a system in place. They're not project managers.
True. So Jay has said some score predictions: 2-1 Somerville, and he got it right in the Patreon prediction last week. Well done, Jay. Hopefully you may have won something. I don't know. 3-0 Forest. Kieran is being optimistic. I know, Kieran. I'm just praying it isn't, but we all know. Andrew says a surprise 3-1. Bowen to get 2, Somerville to get 1. He's bold. That's bold. We love that. 3-2 West Ham. If it comes true, I'm doing the lotto. Good luck on that one, John. And Grant's Shamadan. Oh, Avram Grant was only 21. And I think he's kicked off. Deploy the boys.
Yep, I'm just trying to figure out the clock. This is why I'm glad you're here, because
we should chat as you do it. Yeah,
the number of things clicked by think.
Yeah, Troy's. Yeah, Sushek Zill's picked up a virus. So probably what I've had the last week. And IronX says a 2-1 loss, unfortunately.
Okay, so we are a minute in. We are a minute in, and West Ham player on the back, Forest don't press, is the first kind of game, actual football-related update that I'm happy to give you. That West Ham have possession, and I've just lost it through a throw-in, but when we had it at the back, Forest were sitting back, which, if anyone knows anything about the game of football and Nuno Espirito Santo, they will sit back and just let us have the ball. That's what they do. I'm just going to take a delicious sip of tea, seeing as I can now visually imagine what is happening, thanks to the text-based information I have flying in. Are you able to do the same?
Good afternoon, early doors. Early doors. Good to see you here, mate. And it's dark. I told you Fabianski should start over Areola, and he certainly proved me right last week. Yeah, he did. He done all right last week, to be fair. Would he be starting, though, if Areola wasn't injured? Do you think?
Forest playing around well. Game plan is very clear. Break up the wings. They've got it into the box. They shoot, but it goes wide. Unmarked shot by Hudson-Odoi, 15 yards from goal, slightly over to the left side. So, bit slack by West Ham there to just allow that shot to take place when you've got 5 in the back, when Wan-Bissaka should have been closer to him. Because Forest only has 3 players in the box. We had about 5. And now we play it around the back.
Wait for mine to start and all.
Yeah, Mark SS got through us too easily there. That was a bit too easy. I think that was a classic Paqueta lose possession, fall over moment. And then, yeah, when Forest have it, they quickly get to look up, but they're still quite compact. They're not just instantly spreading out.
I thought Paqueta had to go back to Brazil for some hearing.
I think that, from what I read, God knows, what you read off websites these days, but I read that was for the Leicester game, that he has to be in person. But yeah, whether that's true or not, I don't know. I wish it was true for today, because I don't really know what he's going to do on the football pitch in this game of football, and the way the tactics are set up, the way he's been playing recently. He could be replaced for a number of different people doing a number of different things, whether that's Danny Ings or just anyone else really, who could actually be more of a classic midfielder doing midfield things.
Yeah, I'll take Ings. I do feel sorry for Ings. I always feel sorry for Ings.
I mean, he gets heavily remunerated, so he's I wouldn't feel too strong. Colin McCarthy, another game after miss because of work. Thank God for you not doing these watch-alongs. Can't wait for Sunday fixtures. What are you doing, Colin? If you don't mind me asking, what are you busy doing? MC Kelsey, hello, people. Hello. We're quite. Yeah, I mean, we're getting to 5 minutes in, and we've been a little bit sleepy in defence and a little bit sleepy in possession as well. So we haven't been catastrophically shit in the first 5 minutes, but we've been cautious, I would say.
Yay! As much as we can hope for, isn't it? Oh, my bloody stream. Yeah, they've got through us a few times, a couple of times already.
Trosh says Areola costs 8 million, but people hype him like he's 80. I'm not sure people hype him. I like Areola because of his shot-stopping ability.
The bare minimum of any keeper. Yep.
He has been a bit odd. I mean, mate, obviously, I think dropping him is the right thing to do, put it that way. The only problem with that is that we have Fabianski and Foderingham. It's just age. There's a lot of maturity.
Yeah, I know we used to be like the graveyard club, wasn't it? Anyone who was decent, good striker, your Les Ferdinands, Ian Wrights, Brian Dean, they were actually all right in their day. And when they become too knackered, like the old Arsenal, Pires and Lundberg, and they came at West Ham, I thought we'd shake that off a bit now, but we've still got a lot.
Yeah, nice play here. We had one of those nice W's going over the pitch. I think it was Mavropanos to Somerville to Kilman to Emerson, I think. And now we're doing pretty nice triangles, an improvement on last week where we just absolutely couldn't pass. So we had a few nice triangles back in the midfield, central area, then, played it back, played it out to the right. Now we get into their final third. Paqueta plays it through nicely to Bowen, over nicely to Wan-Bissaka. Ball bobbles around, so we're going to have to come back with it in possession. But plays decent. If we can just keep this up. And then, if we push up to the final third and there's nothing there, then I would rather we do the classic recycling rather than just try something.
This Dark says Areola's shot stopping has been proper dodgy this season. I prefer Fabs. Yeah, it's just off form, isn't it? So off form.
Yeah, I mean, Kilman did something different there because we were passing it around on the floor and then he went for a long ball up to someone didn't catch who that was to, probably Bowen, which is never going to work. And then it bobbled out. Alvarez slightly fouled the opposition. The on-the-floor passing stuff was good. I don't know why we would need to then mix it up into a long pass for no reason when it's still 0-0.
Yeah, Kilman loves a long pass. He's actually quite good though.
He's done a few good ones, but that was that long and central when you've got possession quite safely away from home, 0-0, first 10 minutes. Quite see the point of that. It's not like we were countering. Everything was quite sat. And then answering my question, Colin says, vehicle inspector photography for an auction company. I'm in America, 6 to 3 p.m. shifts. Have you missing Saturday footy? Interesting. I didn't expect today to turn into an interview in between me and Colin McCarthy, but now I'm interested about why he's in America. What part of America? How's it going over there? Do you like the lifestyle? Do you carry a bulletproof vest? Is the barbecue very good?
Bournemouth are 1-0. Who are they playing?
City.
Yeah, it's too early. It's too early to score against City.
It is worst time.
Yeah, they're just going to be back to the wall for the rest of the match. Terrible.
Yeah, odds on that. City of 5-4. Keep an eye on that. And I got a new batch of Dong Din tea in, and I've got to say it's lovely. I mean, the people have of Taiwan if this is indeed authentically from there. They know what they're doing when they grow some tea.
Where do you actually get ding dong tea or dong ding? Is it ding dong or dong ding? I said that.
I mean, yeah, it identifies as both, but it's dong ding.
Right.
Yeah. You
The
just
West Ham shop?
Amazon, right? Amazon would have everything that exists on planet Earth. Ooh,
Should have known.
random shot goes nowhere. Val pipes up. You got stereotypes of US down. I do have a lot more, but this is a public place, and I do have a job away from doing this nonsense as a hobby. So I think I'll just carefully watch my words about that particular nation.
Not tuning into the election then. It's not into politics.
Yeah, I'm very tempted to turn this into US election talk, but I think let's just veer safely.
Okay.
Let's just veer safely.
Nothing too much happening in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a decent game. Like, I'm not filled with fear. I'm not shivering with adrenaline and cortisol as I usually am when I watch West Ham. Lucas Paqueta's on the floor. You won't be surprised to know. At the moment, both teams are playing for a point. You could say. Colin says he's in Chicago, which also immediately reminds me of Ace Ventura 2. Ace Ventura Pet Detective, When Nature Calls. Because that whole joke about that whole like Chicago, which was yeah, exactly. And then he had that joke with the big fat like tribe leader or something. Yeah. Chicago, you're out of there. So great scene.
Great film. I mean, it's rare you get a second film as good as the first one, which is the total opposite to the Joker. If anyone has had the mispleasure of seeing Joker 2, what's an absolute steaming pile of dung that is.
No, because I love Joker. I love Joker 1. I was one of those people that was a real fan of Joker 1. I know split opinion. And yes, Mark correctly says what's happening with the game.
Yeah.
The game commentary. Mark, you are 100% correct. But I think what's happening in the game is that we're comfortable, and that's filling me with fear. Whenever West Ham look okay, all that's happened is that possession changes every, 20, 30 seconds or something. When each team have it, they just go back to the defense. They just pass it around. They venture forwards to the final third, and then they go, I'm not really quite sure what to do here. So either they try something that doesn't work, possession changes, or they just go back. Chance-wise, we've had none. Forest have had a couple of missed shots. But yes, back to more important things. Yeah, like Joker the first one was such a funny film because I watched it and I thought that was good. But it's just one of those films where you see the first time, partially because not that you want to listen to anyone else, but like reviews were split over it. You just think, I'll give it another go. And I watched it the second time. And I was like, my God, that was sensational. And then, because the second one was nonsense. I did watch the new TV series Penguin, which had a lot of holes and it was kind of stupid, but also very, very, very watchable. In the young person's terminology of binge watching, it's super easy to just let episodes of the Penguin roll on and on. Although in my house these days, mostly it's 2.5 Men is on TV because I introduced my son to 2.5 Men, and obviously it's just like rude and crass. But at its peak was surprisingly good if you've never ever watched 2.5 Men. But yeah, footballing wise, the same thing has happened. Like while we've mainly has been prattling on
around, isn't it?
It's a lot of passing. It's 0 chances. We'd be happy with a point, which I'm fine with. Lovely away point. But yeah, and like when we've got the ball, we're passing it around nicely until we get to the final third and aren't quite sure what to do, probably because we don't have an actual fixed striker in place and also because we're away from home. So like now, we've got close to the final third and we think the players are like, well, I guess I better kind of dribble it in now. And then we try and dribble it in, but with no real precision or commitment or belief that was the right thing to do. So then like the quality of that means they lose possession or it comes back to us, which it has now, and it's come back to us and we approach the final third again.
Paqueta made a tackle there. I saw that. I don't know if anyone else spotted it, but he actually made a good tackle.
I mean, everything had a good crossing opportunity there, but again, it was what you might call a perfunctory cross. Like, well, I'll cross it in, but Kilman probably got fouled. Referee wasn't interested.
So are you on 14 minutes now?
Yes. Robert Singleton says Brighton take lead over Liverpool. That would mean, so Liverpool are now 10 to 11. This is not gambling advice, etc., etc., etc. Liverpool are 10 to 11. City are 11 to 10. That makes a double 3 to 1. That is purely information. What you do with that information is up to you.
It's quite an open game, though. It is sort of, it's not all in the middle. It's not bouncing around. It's good tackling, just not really going.
Yeah, I mean, we should take some confidence from the first 15 minutes in that we should be reminded that we can actually pass it around. I just think we need to just not rush what we do. I don't know whether it's the formation, and then obviously with the back five, by definition, you might feel like you have less players as options going forward. Bowen has been staying very central for the most part. I mean, right now he's on the right wing because someone won possession. I think it was Rodriguez, maybe. But yeah, obviously there's not really much to aim at. I think we win a corner though. What I would say is it's not challenging for us to attack. So we need to take the ball by the horns, grab the game by the scruff of the neck. Can you one-up me there on nonsense metaphors?
I'm going to grab balls, but no, get that.
Oh.
It's not get rude.
Cross is about to come in. Any moment now. Played short, always worrying. Hate short corners. No point. It's not that, no. And it unsurprisingly it didn't work because no short corner in the history of the world has ever actually produced something apart from, to be fair,
Well,
I did see one last week.
Do you know, you say that, if you've ever read, there's a book called Football by Numbers. I think it's Football by Numbers. And they're saying that more goals are scored from short corners than long corners.
Yeah, but all I have to do there is the social media thing of just now calling you a stat merchant.
Yeah.
Which on social media, if someone's losing an argument and someone else proves it with facts and numbers, they go, oh God, fucking stat merchants here again. Yes.
Stato.
So now, because that corner came to nothing, they've got possession. We need to realize we're better than them. We need to have someone who either is, oh God, they're attacking now. They've got it in the box. It was free kick on the edge of the area. Hopefully not a penalty.
They're calling for it.
The referee's doing something. I didn't have any sound. Gibbs White is obviously just making me a little bit rolling around as well, holding his face as if he's in huge amounts of pain, which will take him 15 seconds to recover from. Don't think the ref has given a card so far as Gibbs White holds his face. Obviously, he's listening. Oh, there is a yellow card for Rodriguez, I guess. I mean, it looked clumsy.
Standard.
I guess.
Standard that Rodriguez gets a yellow. That was nailed on.
I mean, it was a yellow. We can say, without doubt, if you want to see, was that a yellow card? The answer is yes. David Marchant. You'll find it difficult to break us down, but I do think it will be a draw. We only won once at home, but you aren't better than us this season. David, don't be a stat merchant, all right? Don't try and use facts to prove your point. It's nonsense. I don't like it.
We don't do facts on this channel, my friend. Pure gut instinct and bollocks. That's what we deal with around here.
And hell, Angel, I'm trying. Come on, guys, show some enthusiasm for the match. Sounds like a chat in an old pub. I mean, yeah, like a lot of when you see those other games, like we're West Ham fans. I don't really know. Like we are actual, true, core, born West Ham fans. It would be fake for us to sit here at 0-0 Forest away and be enthusiastic to you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not disagreeing with you, but if I was at the game, I would be absolutely going for it in full voice. Every single thing that was happening, I would be behind the team. At the games, it's different. Watching it here, I mean, Forest
I think you
away.
should be like the guy from the Man U channel that you sent me the link afterwards, which is hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, the Man U fan watch-alongs, they would be screaming now, "This is not good enough. We are West Ham United." But at the moment, it's 0-0, and they've got a free kick 19 yards away from goal. I can't bring myself to be enthusiastic. Shit free kicks. So many free kicks. If you're talking about stats, if someone wants to quote something and find figures,
shocking free kick.
I'm positive that free kicks now, and it's not just me being an old man in the pub having a drink and being old. Free kicks aren't what they used to be. Most free kicks, even the good ones, hit the
Beckham
wall.
era.
Just very, very, very often hit the wall. I mean, Ward-Prowse joined us for a season, and he scored 0 free kicks, and I don't even think he had a crossbar, amazing save. I think a lot of them hit the wall.
He hasn't scored one since, has he?
No. Thank God. I mean, it's a good thing why he's on loan. Otherwise, he would have scored against us today. If he'd be playing. Fluffy Buttons back. Can't forget he's led to phenomenal films. Yes, Dark Knight is probably one of my most watched films. Terminator 2 is the other one. I'm a stereotypical old man. Godfather 2 will be the other one. Aliens will be the other one. I watched Dark Knight many, many times. I often don't watch the last 30 minutes because Jokers is not in it. Footballing wise, Robert Cowie has it spot on. For those of you who like footballing chat, get Bobby Cowie on the line. Missing speed on the right, Paqueta is too slow. Yes, I don't want to criticise Paqueta. It's 0-0. But if you've got Paqueta on the pitch, you have expectations of him. And if he doesn't meet those expectations, get him off and get someone else on. Because you are Brazil's first pick. You need to have, and no matter what's going on in his personal life, he needs to realise that he's still lucky to be a professional footballer. He needs to get on the pitch, and he needs to, be the man, for want of a better phrase, puff out his chest, for want of an even better phrase, and just, constantly show for the ball, constantly be able to receive the ball in any position, find a man in any position, because he has the technical ability. Now he could be any West Ham player from the last several years that's just on the pitch. I expect more of him, to be honest.
So I'm expecting a lot from Emerson and Wan-Bissaka today. I think they've got to really put a shift in to get us up the pitch.
They're doing it right now. We're in a decent position. It's a terrible cross from Emerson. Emerson's a good crosser of the ball. We see it time and time again, and he's had 2 chances. Very nice work, I think, that was actually Paqueta there.
Paqueta chasing back.
Yeah, very nice work from him there, because it was a real 50-50. And he absolutely won it where he didn't necessarily have a right to. Won a possession. And now we've got it. Jeff Watson, Aronson and Wamsay playing hard at the pitch. Not really. I mean, we're mainly passing it around in defence. That's the bulk of what we're doing. So right now, they're a bit high up just because we've got it in defence and Forest aren't pressing. So that means Kilman can go out left. Mavropanos can go out right a bit. Alvarez can go in the central to take the ball from Todibo. So Emerson then is near the halfway line, but we're not in a rush to get it to them. That's not with if that is an attacking tactic of ours, we're obviously saving it to later in the game.
But we're doing okay. We're doing the shape's good. I think the shape's looking good. We're looking good. It's
basically fine. It's just like then. It's just like when Wan-Bissaka does run up the pitch, but I don't know what that pass was trying to do.
No.
Like a looped pass quite high in the air for Wan-Bissaka to run onto. Yeah, he's got a lot of qualities and he's fast and this and that, but that's just asking too much. And playing the percentages, I just feel like I'm playing football cliche bingo today. Fluffy's Python back, Die Hard 2, obviously the bald head Bruce Willis there.
Have you been to Forest Ground?
Once, when I was friends with the aforementioned Forest fan who I was friends with before we just ceased communication. It wasn't really my fault. Bobby Carrick, I bring ins on, Paqueta off. Yes. I mean, Paqueta's the best thing he did a few minutes ago. I just think we need to decide. Like, we're being patient, but just then, Kilman couldn't resist doing a Hollywood pass from left back to right
He's
wing.
asking a lot of Pac-Man there.
So that kind of thing starts to get on my nerves. It's like when any player who isn't good at long shots has a long shot, which is usually like fullbacks or a defender, and they get 30 yards out.
Too foul.
Yeah. I think Forest shot. Did they have a corner, or was that just a crap shot? I think that was a crap shot by Chris Wood. Yeah, and they just punt it over, and that annoys me. It annoys me if I was a player. It annoys me watching it. It's just thick, and it's like that kind of thing. The way we're playing is absolutely fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a punt of cross-field pass, 60 yards. Enthusiasm.
Yeah, it's a decent game. It's a decent game. I'm feeling a lot more confident 25 minutes in than I think I was at the beginning of the game. Because they're a decent team. They're a good unit, Forest.
I'm confident. I'm confident like it's there. I'm confident that we could go on and actually score a goal. But the players need to maybe have a bit more confidence there. Matt says need to switch Pickett and Bowen position. Yeah, I mean, obviously people will say, Bowen hasn't been in it, but that's because he's been asked to just stay up as a central striker. That's what he's been asked to do.
Yeah, he's not touched it yet, has he?
He touched it a couple of times when he was on the right wing, funnily enough. But he's been asked to stay up, which is fair enough. You still need to have a player there to stretch them. Otherwise, they're going to be like, oh, great, no one's here. Let's just push it completely up.
I don't know why strikers are out of fashion as well. I was saying this to a friend of mine's, Arsenal, and I was like, you're never going to win a title without a striker, because they don't seem to want to buy one. And we're exactly the same. We've got a striker, but we don't want to play him. He's Antonio, but he's not really a striker. He wasn't born a striker, if you like. So
yeah, I think it's just Lopetegui trying to be clever. I mean, what he kind of must have ended up thinking that he was clever with last week, which was pure luck because they had those like literal 7 or 8 easy chances in the first half. It could work against Forest away.
It's a good ball. Good ball out. West Ham attacking on the left. Somerville. Oh, wasteful.
Same thing. It just breaks down because it was forced. Just because we get to the final third doesn't mean you've got to try and play the final through ball.
There's lots of times options there.
Yeah, I mean, not that we're City, we don't have the players or the manager, but you could probably learn from them that they don't always just try and put the ball in. They just have, Forest attack cross. Oh, fuck off, Chris Wood. Exactly as we said.
Told you.
6 yards away from goal. 3 centre backs.
What happened to the right backs there? We had 2 players on the right that just stopped running. I don't know. I couldn't see who they were. 2 players on the right stopped running. The ball was chipped over them. They didn't chase back, and that cross came in. That was just lazy. I was a foul called or something. They just stopped running. Weird.
Yeah, that was nailed on to happen, and it happened, and it's not excusable. So it was Todibo. You're next to Chris Wood. You're next to Chris Wood. You're next to Chris Wood. You don't pay attention. Mm-hmm. No one else sees that happening.
He just peeled off. So Mavropanos there.
Yeah, Mavropanos
you can see him all day long.
Mavropanos goes to ground, which you're told.
Who's behind him? Kilman. Sorry, Kilman there has got full sight of Chris Wood. Now, if he takes that step back, he's got a cover.
Terrible defending. Absolutely.
So easy. It's such an easy goal.
Terrible from everyone. Mavropanos going to ground. You're supposed to hair over to the player as quickly as possible, and then when you get a couple of yards from the player, steady yourself, slow down. Not slowly go over there and then go to ground. Todibo, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you lose possession. I mean, not possession, you lose concentration. How do you lose concentration at that moment? Terrible defending.
Oh, let's see what's in the chat. Lucky sums this one up, I think, for everybody. Mr. Hammer, it was coming. I don't know if it was coming. I wouldn't say that. Would you say it was coming? I don't think it's like there was ridiculous pressure on us.
No. I mean, the only reason why it was coming is that West Ham just do this kind of thing.
That's just true.
In that we're looking kind of okay. I mean, we saw it in the Fulham game. You know, you can go through a lot of the goals against us this year have not been expertly crafted. And like you say, under like heaps of pressure, even wonder goals, just not paying attention, just lack of basic attention, like the Tottenham game and their second goal, just paying attention, just marking.
Yeah. Pete agrees with you there on that one. 3 centre halves, we can't mark one striker. Actually, I mean, this happens though. Sometimes when you see this, when you go from 2 centre backs to 3, that actually creates more confusion than it solves. He was right in the middle. He was too open. He was way too open for a striker to be that open there. No pressure on him to make that jump. It was pathetic.
Somerville gets hacked by Gibbs White. No yellow card forthcoming.
Topher, I want him out. Get Jose in. Oh, sorry.
It's all right. I mean, it's still the Charlie split into 2 different personalities. No, Charlie left, and now we're here. Paul, this is a game crying out for Danny Ings. Yes.
It pace.
Yep. I mean, like we're gonna be playing the same way. You'd hope that if our professional footballers at centre back have not learned, that told them how Forest are going to try and score their goals, and maybe now we might have a bit of actual urgency and precision when we're attacking.
We're on the attack at the moment, though. Can't
Yeah,
seem to get a cross in.
Given offside or
either
offside or free kick.
Offside. I think. But we're not getting dicked on. It's still open, I think.
Yeah, it's difficult to know. It's difficult to know how to fix the goals that we shipped this season. Unless it's just, if the players just can't get basics into their minds, then obviously, how are they being coached? What is happening on the training ground to emphasize basic things like focus and concentration?
Oh, yellow card coming, is that for Alvarez? So there was a coming together there. Alvarez was fouled. I think it was initially fouled, and then as he went down, he kicked out a bit. I think he got very angry.
It was Somerville.
Somerville. Sorry, yeah. And then Alvarez.
I don't know if they're going to VAR that, but
he did kick down at him, didn't he?
Quite obviously, yes.
Oh, he kicked him in the back of the head there. Somerville. Yeah,
they don't have the text commentary I'm getting in says that they're not. No, nothing looks VAR check. And the plays, the plays continued. So if VAR was going to check that,
surprising. I'd say with the way VAR is at the moment, that could have been given.
David Green says Alvarez was the man who should have intercepted the cross. 3 centre backs, 1 striker. Firstly, Todibo let him go, and then after that, Kilman should get across. Vic Turpin, weak manager, weak minds. Yes.
Yeah, so Pete, you was thinking the same as me. He could get a red card. I thought, if they had seen that, and I think they'll look at that. I think they'll talk about that at half time. We'll talk about that at half time. I think that could have been, I think he was a little bit lucky there not to get anything.
Yeah, Mark says Bowen wasted incentives for running up the right flank. Yeah, it is pointless at this point to maintain this 33 minutes, and I think we will do. 1-0 down at half time. I'm sure.
He'll take Somerville off rather than Paqueta, though.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think, I just got a feeling. West Ham, great. Whoever won that back, that was Alvarez, wasn't it? I think. Got it right this time. Oh, come on. That was stupid. Wasteful. Rodriguez again can't pass 5 yards. This fella, not a fan. There's so many crap players. He's not a good passer of the ball. When they said he was there and they won a World Cup, was he kit man? Ridiculous.
Miss Tam says we're half-time. Down half-time is going to make 3 changes and rip up the tactics. Like last. Ironix says Somerville had no idea where his head would be. He was spun around. If you say so. Agent Samson Paqueta should not be playing. Pete says we are playing with 9 men. Paul is just face palming. Sorum says Lopetegui looks more and more clueless with each passing weekend. But the problem this time wasn't the formation. The problem seems to be
basic passing like that. It's ridiculous. Yeah. They're very, very simple passes that are not under any sort of pressure, and we can't get them right. And these are supposed to be professional footballers. We've just got a lot of shit in our team, unfortunately, that have got zero confidence. I'm just getting wound up by it now.
There we go. That's the enthusiasm people want to see. Season of mediocrity. Rodrigo, whatever, is part of Rodriguez is part of the grass. I mean,
don't lose your head to West Ham. Switch on.
Yeah, the formation, the tactics, the formation's fine. It's all about mentality, what people have been asked to do. It's like before the goal, when we would just go up but we just didn't really look like we had confidence or belief. And obviously that is where the manager comes in. Footballers are footballers. They're being paid. They can go anywhere. Shot comes in, Fabianski saves. They can go anywhere for a wage. They could leave us, tomorrow, obviously transfer window, notwithstanding. So yeah, I mean, part of the manager's job is the whole demanding standards thing. And what a good manager can do by making a bunch of players individually better than they are.
I mean, how's Max Kilman worth 40 million? Someone's got to explain that to me. I've not seen a £40 million player there.
Yeah, he does good things, but then defensively, it's the same things. It's about.
I'm not saying he's shocking. He's not 40 million. He's nowhere near 40 million. It's crazy. I you compare him to someone like Craig Dawson. I could Craig Dawson all day long. I'm not saying now, but in their prime,
Hugh says we're luring them with a false sense of security. And yes, Souček is out sick. Dean's already looking at the results of those below us, which is a rapidly dwindling list. Forest Gate lad give Irving a chance.
That's the problem we have now. I mean, that kind of comment with Irving giving Irving a chance. It's like, we know he's not good. We know he's not going to be good, but we know that we haven't got anything decent to replace. That's kind of the problem we're in at the moment. We've spent a shit ton of money and we've got some poor depth still. I thought we had great depth. I mean, everyone was banging on about how good this transfer window is, but I think it's just proving that I don't think it's as bad as Lopo makes it. I will say that. I don't think our squad is as crap as it appears. I just don't think he's getting a tune out of him. So how long do we persevere with him? Such a simple goal.
You're supposed to stoke the enthusiasm.
I can't. It is hard to get enthusiastic.
Yeah, Shane says if we lost against Man U, would we have got Amarin? And Rodrigo Romero Chavez. Hi everyone. Where are you, Rodrigo, with a name like that? Are you in Spain? Are you in Ecuador, Venezuela, Mexico? I don't know. I would be interested to know. Oh, there he goes. He's already answered the question. From Mexico. We have a Mexican
Alvarez fan
in the chat. Get offered in the first team. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like with the results, the concerning thing with the results is that even if we had gone with a different manager, or basically no manager, I'm not sure our results would have been worse than they are. I'm not sure what the manager has brought. Josh, back to the same old.
Yellow card. Alvarez, yellow card.
Antonio's on the bench.
Keep him there.
Yeah. The setup wasn't that bad. I suppose the setup wasn't that bad if Paqueta was in fantastic form. And that form of focal point that you need for the players to release the ball into and then something to happen doesn't exist. And if that doesn't exist, then you have a back five to pass it around the back nicely. When they go up the wing, they've got nothing to really aim for. They don't have a particular creative player demanding the ball off them and then looking to do something with it. Let's say, for example, not my favorite player, but a Maddison, someone who is always there saying, just give it to me. Whether that then works out for them or not, that's the player who's constantly there. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes obviously is better at doing that. Someone like that, Paqueta's not really doing that. So we've just got players who are quite good technically, set up in a way that is a bit too cautious and like a bit too nothing. Like we're playing the game of football, but without steel belief.
Yeah, it's Seamus says that Craig Dawson cost like 20 million from West Brom. No, I think it cost about 5 million. Well, he's a kind of a complicated one, wasn't it? Because I think we loaned him and then we paid part of a loan fee. So I think probably ended up costing us 10, maybe.
Yeah, John Grillinick, which I'm taking to West Ham. That's he's listening to West Ham games every week. He's absolutely crippling mental health. I'm swinging over guys, watched some women's beach volleyball. Yeah, I mean, like I don't want to be stereotypical, but you'd hope that I don't know if our Mexican friend in the chat could confirm, but surely in Mexico they must have some phenomenal beach volleyball teams. So if you've got that live watch along,
you'd want to watch that though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I could have my webcam on while I was watching that game. Poik 65 Hammer, we are absolutely shit in every way.
At least we can laugh about it, because what else can you do?
Exactly. Like that's why I can't remember his name when he was asking us, like, come on, lads, be enthusiastic.
Oh, can't be a foul to West Ham. Yes.
It's just the player who is willing, I think, willing to run and battle is Bowen, and he's in the central striker position.
Yeah.
So he can't run and battle. It will drain his energy chasing shadows. It will leave a complete gap. So for me, this is why the players need to
West Ham flicked
on with it.
Free kick, ball flicked in, knocking it around. I think Forest going to break here, aren't they? That was a strange clearance.
Talking volleyball, there's about 6 headers in a row there. Oh, Somerville takes it down very, very, very well. Jockeys.
Yeah, it was a great touch, wasn't it?
Maintains possession. And I think it's our throw-in. I'm trying to be enthusiastic. It's our throw-in.
Oh, we're up there half. We're in there. I was in the box for a bit.
Badass Productions. Why do I support West Ham? Josh, the joys of supporting West Ham.
I know, mate.
John, shape is all over the place. If something good happens in the next, we're at 43 minutes. If something good happens in the next 2 minutes, I'll go crazy. I'll be so positive.
That's not a foul.
You'll all have to stop watching, because I've been elated with euphoria that we've had a shot on goal, let's say.
Very dangerous crossing the box there, but good defending.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with watching West Ham this season is also, firstly, is obviously like when they released the starting lineup at about 75 minutes ahead of the game, so 1:45 p.m. for 3 p.m. kickoff.
Mm.
And then you kind of see what's he trying to do now. And then after that, then the next bit is you have to wait till half time. So you have to wait till the clock hits 45, 46 or whatever, and think, how will he try and rescue this nonsense? It's just a weird way. We've all watched West Ham be shit before, but this is just a new way to watch the team. And being in my 40s now, I think that's what's so. It's kind of like it just kind of like rattles your head, because your brain is going, this is a weird way to enjoy a football game. We're used to just like turn on the TV, right? Come on your irons. You've got your favorite players, and you know which position they're going to be in. The thing is, we're not that bad, which is the damning with faint praise.
It's actually an open game. It's a few niggly fouls, but it's quite an open game, and we're not doing too bad. We've had.
We're like footballing wise, we're not. It's just what it's just like shouts out to me is belief, like mentality in two areas. In defense, where is the focus, concentration? Sometimes and I think different people will have different opinions about this. When a defender celebrates doing something defensively, when a defender celebrates it not going in, when a defender celebrates the last minute tackle, putting it out for a corner in the last ditch tackle, and some of the commentators, the old school Roy Keanes and stuff like that, are shouldn't be doing that. But our defenders are so far away from celebrating something good defensively. Like, they're so far away from that mentality of intense obsession.
Yeah. Nick,
we could have scored there. We could have scored, but it just went wide. It was a corner. It was bobbling around side, and Paquette had a shot out 20 yards out or so. But the goal was filled with players, so it would have been a miracle bobble if it.
I was just about to say, just before that, we'd had no goals, no shots.
16 yards
on target
out.
or off.
Yeah, 16 yards out. It had to go through about 5 players to get where it did. So, cross comes in, not a bad cross. It's going to go out for Bowen, keeps it in. Are we going to get another cross in? No, not yet. We passed it back. It's fair enough. I mean, we're trying. Yeah, and now Forest counter. And that was just an unnecessary sliding tackle. Yellow card to Alvarez. Red card to Alvarez. Red card.
Oh,
he did
amazing.
not,
well done. I mean, he
didn't
no need
to do it. He was running to it, and my first thought was, he'll get there first. I wasn't panicked, thinking, "Oh God, the attacker will get there." First thought was, he'll get there first, and then he hurled himself. He held himself to the ground in the slide tackle, and it was clumsy.
He's so rash.
Just clumsy, absolutely clumsy. Player was far. It was far on the right wing. Even if he got it touched, he was going at such pace. There was no way he was going to put in a pinpoint cross. It was basically almost identical to the Liverpool one, but they were slightly closer to our goal.
Lopetegui didn't acknowledge him as he walked past him as well.
Yeah,
so.
I think that's the last we'll see of Alvarez. For obviously he'll be suspended for one, and that he won't come back for a couple of games after that, because that's what happened against Liverpool.
Yeah.
So, yeah, otherwise known as a shit show.
Jesus. Why can't we enjoy a watch along? Like, what do we have to do, Nick? These are horrendous. Everyone so far has been, apart from Ipswich, playing a championship club. Apart from that, everyone's been absolutely bloody horrendous.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing we can do, which is just wait for the inevitable to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to be too long, is it?
We've got to be active in the transfer window. We could just be radical and recall our loan players and say, you know what, Potts and Orford.
That's a foul, surely.
Potts and Orford won't get
shot over the
sent
bar. Could have been 2-0 there. Probably should have been. Although I thought it was a foul in the build-up. If you look on the edge of the box, I'm sure the defender was jumped into.
Julian Perkins.
No, he's just stronger. He's just stronger.
Liability, Mark Geo will be fuming. Andy, you picked the wrong season start. Watch longs. I mean, yes, obviously you are right. I mean, even as a fan, Saturday horror show. Alvarez thick as shite. Ajax players have had enough. Every match he gets a yellow.
Yeah.
When was it's half time? When was the how many games ago was the Liverpool game? Maybe 5. After the Liverpool game, it was one random one. It might have been Fulham 1-1, and then another one, and then the international break, and then 2 since. So yeah, I mean he's on a red card a month. Basically,
if you can't control yourself, I mean there's tactical fouls. Fine, pick up a yellow for a tactical foul, no problem. But he's just rash. He just doesn't think. He just steams in.
Yeah,
and he just lets everyone down. He's useless.
Yeah.
Again, another one. It's another. What load of crap have we bought? It's absolute frustration at the moment with this team. When you look at these stats as well, 60% possession, 242 passes, way more. But we've done nothing with it. Absolutely nothing. One shot on target, one off. Never 10-2. I mean, ridiculous. Bowie's not touched the ball. I still haven't seen him touch the ball. So maybe it's bounced off him or something, but he's not really done anything. We're toothless, absolutely toothless. Get Ings on, get Paqueta off, or get a defender off. There's no point having 5 defenders now. Get a defender off.
Yeah, Mavropanos off. Even though Tadebo's, actually Mavropanos was guilty for the goal as well because he just went to ground. Energising 12 says he's getting sacked by the morning. Wishful thinking. I don't think so.
Please.
Ian wants Alvarez out the door. Shamrock Dan says 10 Hag in.
I'll take him over Loppe.
At this point, it doesn't even matter. That's the thing. Anyone could be better. Interim manager, caretaker manager, player coach manager. We could be manager. Anyone could be the manager. Chris Skull, the stadium announcer, could be the manager. Ben says his liability every game. Spud Farmer, what happened with Alvarez? Same as Liverpool. Exactly the same as Liverpool. Didn't need to happen. For so many reasons. How many? Like the list of reasons. Our players, someone needs to lay into Alvarez at this point, verbally and vocally. Whether that's Bowen, I don't know if Mark Noble's at the game. I don't know if the senior coach. I mean, the coaches are all Lopetegui's like brought in mercenaries. Someone needs to be absolutely ripping into Alvarez in the dressing room now and saying, "You absolute C word." Because we're 1-0 down against Forest. There wasn't any danger. You were on a yellow. Nothing was happening. And you did the same thing 5 or 6 weeks ago. You did the same thing. And you've gone and done it again. And you've put any possible hope of turning this around.
Mark says, Mark, I agree with this one, Mark, actually, mate. I think, drop the CDM role. Why is the point of a CDM when we have such a crap defence? It's not helping us. I don't think if we took that out, we'll concede any more. We're conceding a crap load anyway. Our strength really, when you look for our squad, is supposed to be attacking. We've got some really good attacking players. We don't use them. We didn't under Moyes. We're not under this dickhead as well. So we just got another dinosaur in. Doesn't play progressive football. And we're just watching crap after crap season after season. It's ridiculous. It's what have we changed? We've changed nothing. If anything, it's got worse. And I didn't think that was possible under Moyes because that was just the worst football I've seen in 30 years. But no, this tool has come in and emulated Moyes. Well done. Well done. Plank.
So many comments. We'll never get through these in 50 minutes. Frank just says, whoa. Oh, God, there's so many. Sharon does Bowen isn't captain material. I think he still could be, but in this team, who could possibly be captain material? Double think, total twat. Jeff, on a positive note, it's only 1-0. Paul, Jose, please. Marky boy, Sullivan is a clown. Fluffy, come on, lads, you're avoiding the elephant in the room, the source of all I was. I mean, that would take, I think Gonzo will probably do another hour's podcasts on YouTube in the week. When he got the first yellow, you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think Alvarez saved us by getting Jalo sacked tomorrow. Sean says, no, I don't think so. Ionic says, people are about striking. We have the worst defense in the league. Josh says, we're going down. Steve says, have no leaders. AD says, please, I'm begging for a second half. Like last week, we've only got 10 people. Pete says, pointless having captain our team. Exactly what to go and do. Lone Gunman says, when he got the first yellow, you knew what was going to happen. Yeah, Paul, I'll say, please, trying to go up. Alvarez is slow and cruelly dumb. Someone said that there's 100 comments flew in, but someone said, here we go. Mr. Tanner says, you can't be that stupid. Surely you must have been trying to see red. That makes more sense. That makes actually much, much more sense that he, and this is just as bad, but it makes sense like, oh, I'm winning, we're losing and I don't want to be here. I want to play for a different team. You've heard him say a few things, at least allegedly or rumors or whatever, like rather than just 100% direct quotes. Essex Andy says we're the worst team when it comes to passive and we're hopeless. Steve says, fuck all up front, embarrassing, metaversal, Guido. Yeah. Anything you want to interject, Northie, before I try and give everyone some limelight?
No, I guess all I was thinking is, I think someone put it in a comment there that we're getting relegated, and it's really, you think that'd be stupid. How can we be relegated? But this is relegation form all over. Absolutely. I mean, we had a much better team when we did get relegated. This team's terrible, and we haven't got a manager that I can see turning this around.
Yeah, I don't think Nathan says the next goal we score, everyone here slagging the team will cream themselves and say X, Y, Z is brilliant. I don't think so. I mean, firstly, I'm too old for spontaneous self-creaming, but also, no. I mean, like when we scored and won against Man U, we were very, very happy, but knew it was by luck that they weren't 5-0 up at half time. So, yeah, I'll be very, very pleased if we score the next goal. But no, Loppy just wobbling his head on the sideline. Says Matt. Troy says blame manager more than Alvarez. I mean, he played him. Come on, guys, it's not the manager. I don't know what you mean by that, Johnny. It clearly is because it's mentality. That's his job. We've been in relegation form. Yeah, but that's why changing a manager for a not very different manager. Mark says, Nottingham Forest going fourth. How can they be so much better than us when they were crap last season? I mean, they're playing us. So, they were given a goal by our defence, just not doing defending.
Let's face it, we've got 11 points at the moment, and really we've only deserved to win one game, I would say.
Yeah, Jamie Gray says against Liverpool, he was trying to see red today. You could see from his reaction he wasn't trying to see red. Don't agree, Jamie. Don't agree.
I don't think he's trying. I don't think anyone tries to get sent off. I just think he's not good at tackling, or he's not here.
I think it was either stupidity or it was deliberate. I know that sounds like I'm saying the obvious.
Stupidity. I'll go stupidity. Give him the benefit that he's just thick.
Spontaneous Self-Cream is a good band name, but what genre of music? Tudor, like green sleeves, but cream sleeves. Grelch says, can we recall our kids on loan? I wish we could, because they can't be worse. By the definition of the results we've had, we've reached the point where we can't be worse. And the young players have more energy than Rodriguez. They get sent off less than Alvarez. They put in more effort, and they're on the floor rolling around less than Paqueta. I mean, the thing, like Inox, you keep saying calm down. How can we get behind this sort of tactics? I mean, the calm down is a personal thing, but it's also a valid point.
So if we've got on the bench, let's have a quick chat about that, Nick. So we've got Creswell, Soler, Sufal, Antonio, Guilherme, Ings, Irvin, and Casey. Who would you bring on?
Ings, definitely. Antonio
for Bowen.
No, I'd have. Let's see. Definitely Ings for, let's say, Mavropanos to change things and have a striker instead of 5 at the back. Casey instead of Todibo, because why not? Guilherme instead of Paqueta. Yeah, and then anything like that, or Irving instead of Paqueta. I mean, it's just Lopetegui shouts a lot on the sideline. Is he shouting in the changing room? Is he calling Alvarez a coño in his native tongue? Is he laying into the players? Is he, even if that's the wrong thing to do, even if it's like the mentality he's set them up with is dog shit, is he just shouting at people and saying Mavropanos or Dinos or whatever you might call him, you are absolutely shit. And if you can't take it, then go and play for someone else, because this isn't like friends club. This is professional football, and you need to either put some effort in or kindly fuck off and just go and play for someone else. You have to have on Antonio now. Yeah, I mean, Paqueta doesn't come off. J-Lo needs to go.
Is he the worst one on the pitch, Paqueta? Is he the worst player we've got on the pitch?
Probably. I mean, obviously Alvarez is now off the pitch. The defense were collectively shit for their goal. But like I say, Paqueta's not doing Paqueta things. So you have Lucas Paqueta on the pitch with a list of things to do, and if he doesn't do them, it's the same as having no one. It's the same as having me creaking around there as an old person, just dying on the pitch and saying I'm tired, because like it's not too much to ask. Like it's not that West Ham fans want to see certain kind of football. It's not even that we want to see us winning. It's that what we don't have, aside from very, very few, is you don't have. And I'm sorry to bring up Declan Rice, and we played shit when we had him in the team as well. But you felt like you had someone. You just felt like there was, like, whether that's a link between the fans and the pitch and the players, or, you know, obviously, you know, the dream. Even when you have those players who are legends, like you have, you know, Di Canio, who sometimes just didn't play away games because he said he didn't feel well. But it's just my expectation that we have 1 out of 11, now 10, that can have, you know, the only one I feel who's genuine really is Bowen. I like some of the other players' mentality. I like what I see of Somerville, both on the pitch and in interviews and off the pitch. Same with Kudus. I think his sending off was because he went mental. And while what he did was stupid, at least I want to see something. I don't see that from Paqueta. That's why. Yeah. I don't really. Gazwa says, bring back Charlie. Obviously, if Charlie's willing to do this, then he'll obviously give everyone the heads up. But I don't know why.
I'd keep Paqueta in, only because I think probably is someone I'd take a central defender off, so just have 4 at the back. But Paqueta in central midfield, Bowen out wide because he's ineffective where he is at the moment, and then put Ings there.
Yeah, Stoney Stevenson, like, is exactly what I think. How much lower can Paqueta's motivation and concentration possibly get for this twonk of a manager to leave him on the bench? Yeah, we're not like Friends Club United. Paqueta has a lot going on, and he's not doing it on the pitch. So why are you playing him? Because it's kind of cool, and it's like feels brave or something. It's not intelligent. I don't like it. I don't like stupidity. Remember if you just hit the little like button and subscribe, it helps out Geo and Gonzo.
The players are heading back out to the pitch.
Yep, and I see Paqueta. Great. Hammerlock says Bowen is the only player who tries. Even Somerville just gives up. Go away. I mean, I think I'd say I do see trying from.
Can't see any subs. Don't think there's any subs at the moment that I've seen.
Yeah, Darren says Paqueta's head is elsewhere. Onion Guy says Bowen's been shit since he came captain. I personally disagree.
I mean, he's been great since then. Yeah. But
I mean, Gaz was
no one has. Not his fault.
Clueless on here. This is just opinions, Gaz. If you've got opinions, then you are absolutely free to write them in the chat, and we'll patiently, calmly, respectfully, and maturely discuss opinions. Paul says, I'm sick of this team. Get him out. Clue is toothless. Oh, Antonio's coming on for someone.
Who do we not see? There's Bowen and Paqueta were there. Somerville then must be.
I mean, that
Somerville.
maybe something says let's all blame Paqueta. Ings is better than Paqueta. You wouldn't say that side by side as footballers, Ings is better, but you tell me what's Paqueta done in the last 6 or 7 games aside the Brentford goal, Tottenham's second goal, the Ipswich goal. I
told you that he would take Somerville out for before he took Paqueta off.
Hemlock says, "Oh God, not Antonio." Well, I mean, someone is on. Yeah, Antonio and Soler.
Do you know, strangely though, and I'm not a fan of, as you know, I'm not a fan of Antonio, but I'm not a fan of him starting. I think this is the right way to use Antonio. Only when we're chasing it, when we need something. That's when we should come on.
Yeah, I mean, Darren says, yeah, he's been poor this calendar year. Here we go, James, 4.99, more entertaining than the game.
Thank you, James.
We try. It is difficult to say anything remotely witty bantery when your football team just week after week after week, you just think to yourself, and now because it's just small things that build up in your mind, right? Like, for example, there's a transfer window now, and there has been for many years. So you just try and see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you just get a combination. You just get a combination of. It's not like we're just saying, "Oh, one player of ours got sent off, and now we're pissed off." He just did the same thing 5 or 6 games ago, and it's just to put it just stupidly and simply, it's not good enough to do that. If you play for my team, West Ham, there's just a limit. There's a limit.
Good play by West Ham. Ball coming. Paqueta tried to do a little flick. I think it just must come off a Forest player. Corner to West Ham. Get to score here because everyone wants him off. Come on.
No, comes out. Bowen shot over.
It's just too far over though.
I blame the coach for picking Pack, not player. Yeah.
Jay says, agree with Antonio, but Soler and Somerville off. Packman not turned up. He loves him. He just got creative spark. That's the thing.
I mean, all we can do, I think, for 45 minutes.
Get behind the boys. Come on.
Is laugh at the comedy. It's like a Greek tragedy of the situation that we find ourselves in by having a manager who's kind of learning on the job, learning as he goes.
Pensioner, learning on the job.
Just each and every week. Each and every week. Each and every week, there's a new starting lineup. There's a new formation. The only consistency is that he's so far away from what like the better managers do. Even
Match
Maresca,
bingo with his team.
even Maresca, who was unproven and given, it's like a squad with too many players, seems to have. It's about mentality. Like Forest play with a certain kind of mentality. I think easy to say from the outside looking in, but you look at Bournemouth, you look at Wolves, and you just don't see them throwing away games as we do.
So it's just playing around at the back for West Ham. I'm just checking in match bingo, actually, just because I mentioned it. See if there's any winners there.
Jeff says Winnis Kudus-Back. I don't know if the 6-game suspension has been confirmed. I was just like browsing stuff and on Friday yesterday, and I think all I read was like, everyone's confident it's going to be definitely called as 6 games out, but I don't know if it actually was announced in the news that it's 6 games out. But it's going to be like based on what he did. So that would be 5 more games, obviously, after this. No, wait, last one. 4 more games after this. 4 more games, you dick. So, yeah, unless he gets a long ban. I mean, he's gonna. He just went around smacking players in the face.
They can't give it for the Richarlison one, though, can they? Richarlison should get a ban.
I mean, it was
in the back of the head.
Yeah, he slapped enough people. Andy says, "Can you remember when everyone was saying we won the transfer window?"
Yeah, I know. Long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
Forest got the ball in the box. No one else in there.
It's
though.
good. This shitness is gonna be good. It's gonna be sweet when we turn it around, when we have Will Still as manager and we go on 18 Premier League games unbeaten. These are the tough times.
I'd take Will Smith as manager at the moment. Or Forest putting a cross in.
There's probably a joke somewhere between Kudus and Will Smith smacking players in the face, but I don't know what it is. Yeah, Forest attack. So just basically waiting for their second goal to really.
Tadebo's putting in some good blocks today. Cutting out some good balls.
Yeah, I mean, he gave them the first goal, so he somewhat needs to up his game. Oh dear.
It's a little bit
Richarlison's on my list. I wouldn't say hated because I wouldn't waste the energy of hate on such a person, but he is an absolute, pick your own word. Bowen runs up the right, cross, corner. No, throw corner or throw in? I think it was a corner.
Yeah, corner.
Bit of luck we can win the second half. Nonsense, Clayton. I don't believe you. It's time for a proper, organised, concerted exercise to get Sullivan out of this club. It's fair. It's fair to want a top-down change based on bad decisions and continued caution and playing it safe, I would say. Ball comes in for West Ham, gets headed out. Shot comes in. No, it's across to no one. Forest head it out.
Who was that to?
Yeah, like this is my most enthusiastic voice. I can't do more. I can't have more energy. The only way, I think, if I snorted something or drunk 10 Red Bulls, I would be more enthusiastic about having one player sent off.
Oh, just shot wide there from Forest. Still an open game, though.
Yeah, Jekyll Thorne, if this was Football Manager, you would have this in fast forward. Yeah, I haven't played Football Manager in a while. I obviously did a long time ago. I was going to talk to my wife. She's just messaged me a question mark, which is just wondering what I'm up to. And so I'm just going to tell her West Ham game, and she'll know.
She'll bring up the tissues. She'll know what's coming.
Or she'll tell me just to whack myself off in
excitement.
Pleasure. What's this? Oh, God.
Don't blame Alvarez, says Brent. Terrible decision, but we're set up to fail. Why does he always have to cover other players? Loppy's a disaster.
That's the thing, it's just that when he gets sent off, it's always the same thing. So he just must lack the basic brain capacity. Someone must tell him. You'd think someone says, by the way, don't do that. That thing that you just did, stop doing it. I don't just want to say he's stupid. It's still, I don't just want to be on YouTube openly, heavily criticizing someone else as a human being. But he must just think it's clever. There must be something in his mind where he just thinks is good in some perverted, like weird way. He thinks it's like hard or tough or something. I don't know, to just like fly through the air at an opposition footballer.
Silly.
Oh,
Silly
it's just
player.
so, like Keanu Reeves is right. Like maybe Nick needs a cup of Ding Dong tea to bring energy levels up. You're just right.
Oh my
I mean,
God.
it's just nonsense.
We got away with that.
Nonsense.
We definitely got away with that. West Ham Forest
nonsense.
were in the box, could have scored.
It's collective nonsense. And
Right,
like,
where's the shout there? Where is the shout from Fabianski to Debo to say no one behind him? He knocks it out for a corner needlessly. Our keepers are very
spent
quiet.
money. I think the whole one transfer window was so misleading because of the number of players we signed, and there were some excellent signings in there. Wan-Bissaka is an excellent signing at 15 million. Somerville is an excellent signing. Championship Player of the Year. I think he's a fantastic player now and the future. Just truly fantastic signing.
Come on.
And then we've also got Rodriguez, who's old, Fulkrug, who's old. Who have I said? Rodriguez, Soler, who's old. And I mean, even if he's not old, he plays like a 35-year-old. Todibo, good signing. But then he has made mistakes. But so you have like really quality signings at the top of the Wan-Bissaka at Somerville. And then you have a number of signings. So you think Fulkrug, he's a bit old, but maybe he's good.
Be nice to see, wouldn't it?
Just get the fucking youngsters back off loan. If the youngsters play this game and you lose 1-0,
yeah,
I'd rather lose like that than play Paqueta, who has intense personal problems. Keeping's on the bench, who when he comes on offers something.
Bissaka's going up the right.
I mean, Bowen is giving his all, absolutely giving his all in this game.
Oh, come on, win that. He's done very well there. He's done awesome to beat 4 players, but no one was in the box. And Forest break. Oh, good block on Kilman.
I mean, we're playing like some of our passing is fine. Some of our attacking play is okay. The effort there is okay. And we win a corner through Wan-Bissaka.
How can Antonio be? He's come on a striker. He's on the halfway line. He's the only one who's not in the box out of all those 4 front players. He should be busting his gut. I'm
going to get to the comments because
lazy
I'm annoyed by West Ham. Hammerlocks says Forest are doing well because they have a good manager. Alex, I don't think things will offer much now because we're playing on the counter. Happy Chappy. Alvarez is struggling to cope on his own. The midfielders all over the place. Yeah, he didn't need to do that. Same as Liverpool. Identically the same thing. You don't need to do this. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing that when you're an adult and you're a professional footballer and you're fucking throwing yourself at players for no reason? Luke says, give me 4-0 over any international any day. A bunch of mucks that went up to bed. Yeah, I mean, when like 4-0's last bit with us, he just got worse and worse and worse and worse. Mark says Bowen is front and post-match interviews. Yeah, I think it's come to that. I love Jared Bowen. I'm such a big fan.
Yeah, I am. He's brilliant,
and I don't think he necessarily needed to do that against Tottenham. Why not? Why not at this point? Mike says our best player banned and Alvarez getting sent off. He must have been told beforehand. DC is in all caps mode.
He's angry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like I think we might as well on Hammer's chat YouTube. If you're watching it and you're making comments, you might as well go in all caps. You might as well.
It's a great tackle by Emerson. I'm well done.
Oh God, it's just like watching. It's just, I don't even know. We've been shit in the past, but the feeling is honestly different this season. We were shit under I guess I was more.
Yeah, right, Mark.
I was bewildered. I was bewildered under Kirbishley, but I felt like we had a bit more energy in the team. Pardew was a bit weird, and obviously after us just went into nothingness. But we had a bit of youth and a bit of energy. Roda was difficult. Like the Roda, the Roda times. The Roda times were very, very difficult. And now our players are absolutely another level ahead of the players we had at that time. I think at that time, I think when Roda came in, the first thing he did with his transfer budget was spend £5 million at the time on Don Hutchison, who became one of, who was meant to be the best player in the squad. And that tells you something.
Yeah, quite a lot. It's something nutty about Hutchinson. I do like him, though. He's absolutely bonkers.
I just think it's just messy. And it's just not Paqueta, Rodriguez, Alvarez. I thought that might work. I honestly thought that might work at the start of the season. And I was just so wrong at this point in time.
I mean, this game, Forest are just passing it around. It's got a bit of a sense of inevitability about it, unfortunately. I hope I'm wrong. Oh, as a cross comes in, it's good gather by Fabs.
Yeah, Tony's had enough. I think because it's also the setup. It's also the setup with the players. I think the weird thing is you see the formation come out for this game, and you think like this is how alternate reality we're in. You think to yourself, oh, actually, that's not that bad because maybe it will cut off.
Who's Antonio?
Antonio's
playing in midfield, I think.
No, he was out on the left wing at that point.
Left wing. Why is he out on the left wing?
Well, exactly, because the ball at that point was on the right wing. So I don't know what he thought was going to happen.
He's such a lazy player. I don't see the point of him. Why bring him on instead of Ings? Honestly, I get what someone said earlier around like the counter-attack thing. But if he's just the opposite place, he's never going to get that ball. And even if he does, what's he going to do with it on the left wing?
Yeah. Happy Chappy says, do you think it's time for a change? Who would you like to see as manager? Anyone. I've reached the point where anyone. As long as they're not Allardyce, not Moyes, not Sean Dyche, even though he's a much better manager, but that would just be route one. Not those. Apart from those,
you take Ten Hag, wouldn't you? Would you take Ten Hag over?
I would. The only thing about Ten Hag is that, and obviously his like language and linguistic ability is far better than mine. But when he speaks in interviews, it kind of gets on my nerves. He speaks like ta-ta-ta. He's a bit rattly. Mm-hmm. But why not? I mean, he won an FA Cup and a League Cup in a nonsense club environment.
But I think he's more like in terms of the players he plays. He doesn't. When he's very good with youth players over at when he was at Ajax, he must have had Kudus, didn't he? He had Kudus and Alvarez while he was at Ajax as well. He didn't take them, which is weird, but. So he's worked with some of our players. His worst choices, I think.
Shamrock Dan says Bournemouth 2-up. Let's forget the shit show of shitting West Ham shitness. Yeah, Liverpool is still 1 down. Bournemouth are 2-up. Man City draw 6-1.
Oh.
Liverpool draw.
He was unlucky there.
Ipswich 1-up against Leicester.
Is this a foul? Yeah, maybe it was a foul.
I'm going to drink tea and sulk.
Sit back and have a sulk, mate.
It's the only thing I can do at this point. Because you see the formation come out and you might think it's okay. And that's how shit we are. That's the point. Like we've been so disappointed this season in 12 games now into the season. That you just think, well, I guess we're set up defensively against the mighty Nottingham Forest, so maybe we won't lose. That's what you think. That's the best, and that's 2. Forest 2-0. Forest 2-0. Hudson-Odoi, I think.
What's Fabs doing then? Did it get a touch off the player's head? It went through Fabianski's hands.
I think he might have He might have thought it was going somewhere and not have his foot set up. To complete this steaming pile of shit, I also have no alcohol in the house. That's not true. I think I have like a smidgen of cooking wine left, and I don't drink wine.
Must have some ports or Baileys at the back of the cupboard.
No, I have nothing. I only have a tiny little smidgen of white wine I use for cooking.
Oh, was that an own goal? Was it an own goal? Let's have a look. Did the Forest player? Yeah, it was an own goal. Well, it won't go down, but it was come off a West Ham player that took it past Fabianski. Couldn't see who it was.
Alex says he's got to go.
Can I come?
Who is the interim manager? Who would the interim be? Because Lopetegui goes, all of his fellow nonsense coaches who can't coach to save their life.
Noble. It'd be Mark Noble, wouldn't it?
Ideally, but I don't think I think he's too smart for that.
I think he would step up interim.
Who's the next manager?
He's got to be gone. He can't last. He can't last. We've been so lucky. We would have done it too, with last week. We were fluky last week. And
we were lucky. We were lucky against Palace.
Very. Hit the post twice.
The game went our way.
I feel sorry for Wan-Bissaka. I mean, I know he's only come from Man U, who are not ripping up trees, but I thought sold.
Okay, lads, in reply to Paqueta, admittedly he looks poor, but give me another player in the squad to be comfortable on the ball, play, killer past the tactics. Yeah, but he's not doing it. That's the thing.
But yeah, but he's anyone that's got the chance to. He's anyone that can potentially be a match winner, potentially do that. I mean, no one else really can do it. I know he's off his game, but
I mean, he'll like logic would say he's going to have some ban anyway from February. So
Forest just shot there, just whistle past the post.
Ironix says he'll be gone Monday morning. Marky Boy says, I'm sorry, this is on Sullivan.
I think it's too easy to keep blaming the chairman. Well, I blame the chairman only in the sense that he's picks the managers and he's not pick good managers. So, yeah, I'm probably starting to come around to that. He's put his hands in his pockets, but
how much did I take Terzic, Potter, Mourinho, or Ten Hag if I could get Moyes on the phone too? The only reason why I would be okay with, firstly, I wouldn't want Moyes back. It's nonsense. And I know you were being tongue-in-cheek anyway. The only reason, because it would be so nonsensical. It's kind of those things, it's like, it's the rock bottom. As I think I have referred to before, it's the rock bottom in Fight Club. It's the acid burning your own hand as you watch it.
Jose is possible.
The only problem is that he's still mid-club, so he won't come. John Pickett says you need a drink following the shower. John, I don't have anything in the house because I haven't planned well enough.
Cooking wine. Just mix it up with some Blue Lou or something like that, mate. That'll do it.
Oh God. Obviously, yeah, Noble's the best option. Noble is the best option. It's the modern day version of the Brooking. And when Brooking came in at that time, it's not nostalgia. It's accurate memory that when he came in, it was so good because he was. There's a few things that at this point I want to take a moment to share with you while West Ham just become twats on the pitch. First thing is we knew at the time that when Brooking came in, it was for a number of games. We knew that. I think we knew that because either we were looking for a manager to come in and we were waiting on that situation to unfold or contract or something else, or there was like specific time. So we knew it was Brooking in for it was the end of the season, wasn't it? I'm like trying to recollect all of that from years ago. So we knew it was like a number of games, 5 games or whatever. We knew for a fact he was never going to take the job. And then there's a couple of things that stick in the mind. Firstly, there's three. One is that at that time there was it was all print media, it wasn't social media. And I remember I saw in some newspaper, rather, one of the big ones, of Brookings' first 1 or 2 days on the training ground with the players. And there was a still photo. If anyone's bored enough with this nonsense football game, you can maybe want to Google, Trevor Brooking, Rush Green, when he was West Ham caretaker manager, whatever. And there was just a fantastic photo of when in the background behind Brooking were the players. And he was walking back somewhere, and he'd obviously been with the players, and he was walking back to somewhere else. And he just had this he was looking down at the floor, and he had a smile on his face, and he just had a stride. And you just saw that he loved that moment of being back with the players, and he loved it, even though he was only going to be there for 5 games or something. The other couple of things that stick in mind was I'm pretty positive we had a Palace home game at that time, and the atmosphere was electric. It was one of those electric Upton Park memories. And at that time, we were doing badly. Hence he was in charge at that point. We were doing badly. We had a lot of shit players, but just because we had one of our own as the manager, the atmosphere was just off the scale. And the other one is, I also think that, I might be misremembering this, but I also think that was the Di Canio 1-0 Chelsea home game. I think so. We might be 2-1. But anyway, it was when Di Canio had that goal where it was bobbling around. It came back into the box behind him, and he span and smashed it into the goal. So yeah, that's like Mark Noble is the dream, because that would be, you could forgive a lot of things. Anyway, so I've finished my little speech now, but what I really wanted to do is just try and just give myself some good memories of supporting this football team, which we're so far away from with this manager.
Yeah, I would say dream, but apart from that, yeah. I think this is the best option.
Rose-tinted spectacles of the past. Pete's just congratulating himself. Predicted a poor season. You guys are living in dreamland. What do you mean? How so? How so? How so? You guys are talking piss. Yes. Because what else is there to do? Oh, it was 2-2. Okay, well, it was an equaliser then. Because I remember that goal got us something out of that game. But yeah.
By the way, Liverpool scored 2 goals in 2 minutes and they're now in front.
Good. Excellent. Wonderful. Andrex, our sponsors. Barry's having a little Tommy tank. Andrew, pathetic. I know he's talking about my memory. Richard B, the circle jerk. I don't think it's circle. I don't think they're each tugging each other off. I think it's just self-flagellation of the genital area at this point. Is the manager going to get the sack? Who knows? Who knows what Sullivan needs to get rid of the manager?
Who's on a free? What other managers are? Who's the best freebie out there?
God, it's just so annoying. Seeger says Will Still, yes, holds the League One French record for number of games unbeaten. Paul, the only reason Noble coming to you. I mean, Noble only comes in as a caretaker interim.
Forest Corner.
Rosie said, get your partners, plural, to go down.
3-0.
Yeah, to get you some beers, which is nice, because the plural isn't nice, because Rosie's imagining I have just a flock of partners. My partner's currently not at home, so
that was close. I don't know. It's one of these now. You think you'd rather it be a spanking, and you have to sack him.
At that point, absolutely. Obviously, it's never like you want them to lose from the get-go, but you're going to lose. You're 2-0 down against 10 men. 75th minute.
Antonio.
Flow drainage.
Oh my God. Antonio, what can be described as an absolute dribbler? He'll say that was a cross. There's no way that was a cross. That was just the weakest shot on earth.
Com says Bournemouth are spanking City.
2-0 on it.
City luck to win against Wolves. Gary O'Neill had Wolves set up against City.
It's good for anyone. Whenever you play fantasy football and you got someone who's got Haaland, which I don't, so I do well in those weeks when Haaland does nothing. But then I do have Paqueta in my dream team, which I keep meaning to swap him out.
Andy Smith says we're all forgetting about the generational talent that is Andy Irving.
We can't do much worse. Shots from West Ham. No.
United get Amarin. Sullivan thought it was a better idea to hire this joker instead.
Oh, Antonio. For fuck's sake. Can't pass. He doesn't look interested. He's just piss off and do his podcast. There's no point in him. Danny Ings, just go and give Loppy a hand job or something. We have, for fuck's sake. Get on that pitch.
Huge one. Is that Eugene or like huge one? I agree with Brent Fraser. How much crap do you need to see before realizing Soppy Loppy is shite? Absolutely. Big pile of nonsense. Leon says, fuck it, lads, I will manage this team. This is my most enthusiastic. If anyone needs a nap, if anyone wants to have a little afternoon nap, just tune in to Hammer's Chat. And I will do my best. Oh, God. Flow to flow drainage. When Brooklyn took over, we had a lot of talent. We did Joe Cole, Carrick, Candy Sinclair, Defoe, but yeah, I mean, we also had some.
Did you know, what's this guy's name coming on? He's a striker and he's a big lump. He's kind of like sort of person we should probably get instead of Antonio. And he's Nottingham Forest sub. That's that. That's where we are.
It's not just that we're shit. It's that every game is when we're odd, we're weird, we're not normal, right? Like
you don't know what you're going to get at all. At all. There's no consistency.
I mean, look at Forest, who objectively, I don't think Forest fans would say their starting 11 is definitely better than our starting 11 player for player. But look how they started.
How was that yellow card?
Just look how they started. They were set up and they had like a game plan. That's why I say it's just he's learning on the job. Fucking
yeah. I mean, Shamrock says something here. Fulkrug would be happy to return. If you're a striker thinking
3-0 Forest, shot from the edge of the area. Free shot from the edge of the area.
Yeah, if you're Fulkrug, will you be itching to get back into this team to turn the fortunes around? You'd be like, what have I done?
Yeah.
Because what services are you going to get? There's no service getting up there at the moment. And he's not going to come. He's not someone that bombs around the place, is he? He needs service.
So I think the best we can do, like if there's anyone still watching this watch along, the only thing that we can offer you at this point is a place to vent your feelings. Oh. I mean, who knew that an opposing player would ever shoot?
I mean, what a spanker! But that was that Tadebo?
It was a fantastic shot. But if you look at the time the ball went toward him, if you look at the time the ball went toward him, how many times did it need to bounce into the path of a shot before you would do something about that? Oh, God. If it happens on Sunday League, your teammates are laying into you. I can't. There's no way to be sane anymore and balanced. You can't do it. You can't do it. I would, we've got another week. We've got another, like when this happens, we've got another week of looking at like West Ham YouTube channels being annoyed. That's the only thing.
Christ alive.
I'm going to watch after this. You watch Geo's video, and you're going to see his take on it. Gonzo tries to do his videos as the balanced take on what's happening, and then you have the other channels like Claret and Booze. He was pissed off. He was pissed off weeks ago. So this is nonsense. I don't see how the manager keeps his position. I don't see how it can happen for another 7 days. It's nonsense. It can't be done. This is
I've had stomach flu all week. I've lost a stone in weight, and I prefer then than watching this crap for 90 minutes. Shower, fucking ridiculous.
It's just nonsense.
I know I'm a bit of Claret and Booze or whatever, but I think everyone. I can't be the only one feeling this pissed off, thinking, "Why do I bother?" What
it
is
is
the
because
point?
you set up the game thinking to get a draw.
There's a chance.
Against
There's a chance of a draw. I was praying that we might get a draw out of a newly promoted team. But oh no, we go and fuck it up because we're shit. That's my Claret and Booze bit, all right? But that is what I feel.
And then you start Alvarez. Okay, fine. And you don't. You either trust him not to hurl himself midair in a kung fu flying kick against the opposition, or not, and you get that wrong. You put 3 centre backs and you let Chris Wood in, and you might say it's not Manchester's fault, but that's the thing. Footballers aren't managers. Managers are managers. That's why the structure is set up. Footballers have a job to do. No one expects footballers to self-manage because they're footballers. They're not very smart. They don't understand tactics ideally as well as the manager does. That's why the structure exists. And it's mentality. Everything in football is mentality. It's an easy game. When we defend, we don't have concentration, and we don't have belief, and we don't have confidence, and we don't have anything. We don't have any of these fucking qualities at all. I'm just Darren Lewis. This is embarrassing.
I think that's a compliment.
Basic computing with EKB. Sack him now.
The players have got to look at themselves a bit. From the very off, they've not really been passing well. Like simple passes, not really under pressure, and they're just not coping. I don't know what it is. Man, this is so bad.
Yes, a broad record always is Moyes in whatever your opinion. Not going to disagree with you, but it says everyone wanted at least have slice from pie. That's not the way the situation works. Your opinion is your opinion, but the reality of the world we live in is that football clubs get rid of managers. Football clubs change the manager. It happens. It's fine. So wanting rid of Moyes was stage 1 done, and stage 2 is the players we have, the club we are. Look forwards into the future, and try and get a manager who is going to bring you something like either tactics, some form of belief, someone the players can believe in.
It's like that. That's what when people say about the Moyes thing as well. It's like when you have a nightmare girlfriend. She's always on your case, nagging. Fat, glass eye, whatever, and you get a new one in. And she's mildly better, but actually she turns out that she's not going to let you out on a Saturday. Oh, I need the old one back. Like, no, it's not like that. Get a better one. Get someone better. You don't have to go back to the old rotters you've had before. It's ridiculous. That's all we do. We go back to old stinkers. Get someone in young, progressive, someone who can do a bit, excite you. This is pathetic. Oh.
Dave B says Bro is Moyes on YouTube. Get some youngsters on.
Yeah, some youth would be nice.
Chrissy says Loppy to get sacked tonight. That would be good. That would be good. That would be good. That would be nice. Clayton brings up Loppy, who supposedly watched us last season, was at the club before he was in the job, got the players he wanted in, had preseason, still doesn't know what to do. Exactly. I mean, this is our, I think it's our first back three of the season. 12 games in. 12 games plus, I think in preseason maybe we had 4. So that's 16 plus games. I think Dylan doesn't like West Ham. The Hammers are getting hammered. Dylan, if you support another team and you came on here to wind us up, that's poor quality banter.
That's kicking a man when he's down, but
we don't mind that, but make it just like be clever about it. West Hamshire is correct, and the Hammers getting hammered is not the greatest playing word. I'll just give you another chance. Like, work on it, Dylan. Get back to us. Richard V just says, "Rage quit."
I'm trying to see what the odds were for Loppy getting sacked. Who's the next manager?
I don't know. I can't. I'm just alternating between frustration, annoyance, some rage, as I watch Carlos Soler in a West Ham shirt collecting a wage by having a good name, nice haircut, and coming from playing like training with PSG.
Mario said, "Who's your choice for next manager, lads? So who's yours?"
I go, and I know people disagree with me. Fine, let's talk about it. Like, let's do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I go Potter as number 1. My first choice is I want Noble as interim caretaker, just for a few games as something different. Get the home crowd, up. Get the home crowd alive. Get the home crowd on the side. I go Noble caretaker for a while, a few games. Potter number 1. Will still number 2. Mourinho's not available, so I'm not including him. I mean, Will still's not really available. So yeah, Potter number 1. Will still number 2. I'd say Mourinho 3. And then 4, 5 can be filled by anyone. Like, I really don't care at this point. Terzic.
Zidane's still out of job, isn't
he? Yeah. Even if it's like, well, Terzic plays boring football, yeah, but maybe he would get people organised. Maybe he'd have. I think Lopetegui has some form of belief, but very misguided belief that he knows what he's doing, because facts would tell him he does not know what he's doing. That's why he keeps making changes. Every half time is a panic sub situation. Dylan, I'm not having a go at you because I think you're probably quite young. I think you're probably a young teenager, 15 years old or something. I'm not having a go at you, but your banter's not. It's just not very good. You just need to work on it. Like, in banter, don't knee-jerk banter. Like, if you're trying to have a go at someone, don't knee-jerk it. So you need to think what's like a really analytical way of like getting a dig in on someone. Just take a few moments with it before rushing. Preview.
I could see someone like Southgate.
Oh, preview, review, and predict. I think it's a football YouTube channel. I don't know if it's West Ham channel. I've seen it recently pop up. Preview, review, and predict. Are you a West Ham? But it's a bit better than Dylan's, but it's not great. Lost your bubble solution.
That's what we're going to get now. Forest fans popping on. That's all it's going to be. Probably be more Forest fans in here than West Ham, to be honest, with this load of crap.
Vince says there's a reason nobody's got Paddy Steele paid by Chelsea. They have to pay him off. I did not know that. Still, he's still being paid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have to pay the contracts up until he finds another job.
Not a bad job.
Nice, isn't it? Gareth Southgate. I can see him going for Southgate, someone like that, because they love English managers. They're He said it before. I'm surprised they took on Loppy because
it would be a miracle if Southgate goes for us. It's a miracle. He's just waiting for another cushy job.
I don't know what else. Where else would he go though? I don't know where else he would go. And I'm not saying I want him. I'm not saying I want Southgate. I could just see that I could see why that would work.
Maybe in his mind, in Southgate's own mind, maybe he's dreaming of City. If he thinks he's got a season or two till Pep goes, maybe he's dreaming of City.
Never get that. I mean, he hasn't won anything, so you can't go to City. He's not won anything.
Any other club would sack the manager. Matt just says Forest. Matt, just do me a favour, Matt. I'm bored out of my mind watching this game. Just give me something a bit like banter-esque. Tell me something from your personal life, Matt. I don't know what you're having for dinner. Something that we can build on.
3 minutes of added time.
Manager and keep Chucky, Napoleon, Sullivan well away from the selection. Hermione says, "I'm surprised you guys haven't finished stream because at least it's an event. It's a channel. It's a channel to vent. The only thing is, Gonzo raised this in a video last week. If it gets this bad, which it now is,
oh my god, could it be 4-0?
If our manager's picking a new formation on game 12 to 16, subs at half time, every single game, players don't believe in him. If it gets this bad, does Kretinsky step in and say, listen, I've got about 30%, 35% in this? And, you know...
Well, Greg Krasinski, tennis player.
Kretinsky, does he go to Sullivan and not like, you know, threaten him or something, but with the right wording and the right word choices, intimate that, you know, he doesn't come out right and he say, I'm going to start talking here and showing you up as you don't know fuck all. And I'm an actual like businessman and I've got a lot of money invested in this. I pick the next one. Does he say that? And does Sullivan have to kind of not necessarily eat humble pie? I don't think he'll do that, but does he have to just like mutter and mutter? 4-0 Forest. No, offside. It's offside.
Saving the blushes. Well, the blushes.
Says, is it realistic to expect new managers to come in and start winning? It's not really about winning. It's just you want to see something. That's what we were saying from Lob T. That was the alarm bells on game 3, game 4. What are we seeing? Are we seeing tactical system? Are we seeing players' belief? Are we seeing personality? I don't use the word identity because that's over the top. But what are we seeing? And it was like game 4, 5, nothing. Game 6, 7, still panic subs, different formations. I mean, what I would say is, Matt, I'd say this does fall into the quality of being so bad it's good. It doesn't make any. Come and get your peanuts. Forest are on fire. It's not great, Matt, but I think you're probably about 13, 14 years old, so I think you're getting better. Richard B, we are seeing an all-tanker turning at 0.1 knots. Patrick, we are seeing a team in disarray.
Total disarray. Bang on that, Patrick.
We saw a pile of shit. Sometimes you have to take significant pasting. Yeah, exactly true from Hermione. It is the way owners work. If you just lose, shit. They need the
yeah, well done, Forest.
At least we've been smashed by the side third in the table. Vince says they're doing.
They're going to VAR this goal, so it might actually be 4-0.
Yeah, is this the turning point that kicks Lopetegui out? Brent Fraser can't defend, can't attack, poor at set pieces.
Onside, 4-0.
There we go.
Of course it is. Of course it is. Joy Saturday night. West Ham is shit. What a load of crap.
Leslie says, how many new names have appeared? Yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. Like, it gives us something to talk about other than how shit we are. And as we have discussed before, the joke's on them because they have to like subscribe and then wait 5 minutes. And the funny thing is, like, we don't disagree with them. They don't make us angry. We're not like, shut up, your club shit. We're like, yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, yep, yep.
Well, on the plus side, there is no extra time to be played.
Yes, some people don't like Southgate. Andrew doesn't like Southgate. DC doesn't like Southgate. Southgate won't come to us. It's a fucking nonsense job while Sullivan's there.
Yeah, Owen, as captain, he's got to really go into him. I just can't see him laying into him in the changing room. That's one thing. I don't think he's that character.
His tips wide.
Oh my God, what a great save!
Fucking hell. We're about to end. We're about to end. I'll check if it's actually full time in reality.
Is it just me, or is it saying 3-0 on the?
Yeah, they didn't give it. It's full time. Thank you, everyone, for sticking with this pile of absolute shit. Please stay on, whether you need to reload your YouTube again to find Geo's stream. I'm done. This was shit. We're terrible. We're rubbish. Thank you.
Enjoy your weekend, everyone.
Bye-bye.